Hi everyone, please subscribe to my channel. Blood Immortal Venerable. See playlist for other chapters and novels. Join now our Telegram channel now and enjoy exclusive early access. t.me/blood_immortal_official. I do not translate the novels. Credits goes to original translator and author of the novel. I only make it as an audiobook so it would be easier to just listen while doing other things. Credits goes to the author of the novel. I convert stories to audiobook for mental health, for multitasking purpose, for accessibility and time saving. Listening to audiobook is also beneficial for people who have disability. It improves our listening skills and improve our English comprehension, vocabulary and other things. So, thank you for listening. Thank you and thank you very much for your support. Chapter 401, Talent Acquired, Legacy Appears. TL. Etude. Yi Tian was extremely excited at this moment. He had originally thought that this time he might only have a chance to find the misty fish, but unexpectedly, not only did he find the misty fish, he could also complete a transaction with Heavenly Pride Mo Wen. The value of one divine crystal was already very high. Star points were a relatively low-end currency among humans, basically used by powerhouses below the god level, while those above the god level rarely traded online, mostly conducting transactions offline with divine crystals. Divine crystals were a type of energy stone worth many times more than yuan qi stones, capable of helping god-level powerhouses enhance their divine power and replenish it. Yi Tian did not have any divine crystals at the moment, which spoke volumes about the rarity of divine crystals. Even in the entire galaxy, there were not many divine crystal veins. But what excited Yi Tian the most was the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord. He had no idea where it was, and yet Heavenly Pride Mo Wen actually knew. This 8-star peerless Heavenly Pride had no reason to lie, which meant that if Yi Tian helped Heavenly Pride Mo Wen capture the misty fish, then he could make a huge profit. As for the misty fish, he didn't need it in the first place. He only needed to copy the misty fish's time talent. Once he copied the misty fish's time talent, this misty fish would become dispensable to him, and he wouldn't mind giving it to Heavenly Pride Mo Wen. At this moment, the misty fish activated its time talent, unleashing the Blade of Time. PFF'd. The Blade of Time slashed towards Heavenly Pride Mo Wen, who couldn't defend against it at all, as defenses were ineffective against time talent. Consequently, Heavenly Pride Mo Wen was pierced by the Blade of Time, and his lifespan was immediately reduced by 100 years. Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, make your move. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen shouted. Yi Tian immediately stepped out of the space, activating the Dimensional Cube artifact. Boom! The space was frozen, completely restraining the misty fish's god-level water escape talent. At the same time, Yi Tian teleported over. He unleashed a super god-level palm technique Zumi Palm. Although the misty fish was a demigod, its combat power was merely equivalent to a top-tier 7-star peerless Heavenly Pride at best. It was just that it possessed a god-level water escape talent, making its escaping ability top-notch. And with a high-level time talent, it could accelerate or slow down time and unleash the Blade of Time, making it somewhat troublesome. But for Yi Tian, the misty fish's time talent had no effect on him. Thus, the misty fish was doomed. It activated its time slow talent, hoping to slow down Yi Tian's attack speed and dodge his attack, but Yi Tian's attack speed remained unchanged. The Zumi Palm struck down, capturing the misty fish into the Zumi realm. Swoosh! Heavenly Pride Mo Wen and another Heavenly Pride arrived. Yi Tian also recognized the identity of the other Heavenly Pride. It was also one of the 8-star peerless Heavenly Prides from the Moma River System. Heavenly Pride UK. Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, you actually captured this misty fish so easily. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen was quite surprised. The two of them were quite helpless against the misty fish, not only because of its time talent and god-level water escape talent but also because they dared not go all out. After all, they intended to capture the misty fish alive. If they used powerful moves to envelop the area, they might accidentally kill the misty fish, rendering all their efforts futile. A live misty fish was a treasure, but a dead one, the two were incomparably different in value. This is the misty fish, Heavenly Pride Mo Wen. Is the deal still on? Yi Tian opened his palm, projecting the situation inside the Zumi realm, and asked. Of course, it's still on. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen quickly said. Then, he took out 150 divine crystals and handed them to Yi Tian. Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, these are 150 divine crystals for you. Why give me 150 divine crystals? Yi Tian was surprised. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen explained, this time, it was almost entirely your effort that captured the misty fish. If I only gave you 100 divine crystals, I would feel uneasy. If I had more divine crystals, I would definitely give you more. In terms of value, a misty fish with a high-level time talent was worth far more than 150 divine crystals. If Yi Tian were greedy, he could simply flee with the misty fish, and the two of them probably wouldn't be able to stop him. But Yi Tian didn't take the misty fish and run. If he still only gave Yi Tian 100 divine crystals, that would be too unfair. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen, you said earlier that you know the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord, is that true? Yi Tian quickly asked. It's true, that's also part of the deal. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen took out a crystal ball and input the information about the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord into it. He handed it to Yi Tian. This is the location and basic information of the legacy site. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen, have you been to the legacy site? Yi Tian asked again. I can't get in. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen shook his head. The only requirement to enter the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord is to possess a god-level water talent, but I don't have a god-level water talent, so I can't get in. If you have a god-level water talent, then you can enter. If you don't have it either, you can use this information to trade with others. Rest assured, after I trade this piece of information with you, I won't trade it away anymore. With Heavenly Pride Mo Wen saying so, Yi Tian immediately took out the misty fish. And Heavenly Pride Mo Wen also immediately took out an artifact capable of sealing the misty fish, and with Yi Tian's cooperation, instantly sealed the misty fish. From then on, it was very difficult for the misty fish to escape. However, what Heavenly Pride Mo Wen didn't know was that Yi Tian had already copied the misty fish's high-level time talent and the god-level water escape talent. Yi Tian's previous water escape talent was only top tier. Although he possessed a god-level water screen talent and was highly proficient in the mysteries of water, the mysteries of each water talent were different. Yi Tian hadn't spent much effort on the water escape talent, so it was somewhat of a flaw. But now, with the god-level water escape talent copied, he essentially possessed a god-level water escape talent directly. The transaction was completed. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen and Heavenly Pride UK immediately left, apparently planning to leave the water-cleansing realm. Yi Tian also left the place and went to a relatively secluded underwater mountain peak, where he opened up an underwater cave dwelling. Immediately, he began to close up and integrate the two talents he had just copied. It took 10 minutes for Yi Tian to successfully integrate the god-level water escape talent. Immediately after, Yi Tian integrated the high-level time talent, but it clearly didn't evolve the time talent, it remained a high-level time talent. However, Yi Tian only needed to find one more high-level time talent, and he would be able to evolve his time talent to a top-tier time talent. Let's see the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord. Maybe I can really obtain the water-sinking realm divine ability. Yi Tian took out the information crystal ball and read the information inside. Soon, Yi Tian knew the location of the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord. It's actually not in the water, but in the sky. Yi Tian was very surprised. He had always thought the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord would be in some body of water. This indeed was beyond his expectations. No wonder so many people had been searching for so long without finding the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord. However, even if one flew into the sky, without a specific location, it would be difficult to find the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord. Because this legacy site was enveloped by a hidden formation, only by reaching the exact location could one find this legacy site. It's time to go to the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord. Hopefully, I can obtain the water-sinking realm divine ability. r2ebol.com. Yi Tian rested for a while, then got up and teleported away. Not long after, Yi Tian arrived at a region in the sky. The sky of a small world was different from the sky of the outer planetary worlds, the sky of a planetary world connected to space, while the sky of a small world connected to spatial turbulence. If the sky of a small world was broken, one would enter into the spatial turbulence. I've arrived. Yi Tian's gaze was fixed on a void in front of him. Zoomy eye. Using the mysterious technique from the Mira Sutra, the zoomy eye, Yi Tian immediately saw a legacy site in front of him. It was a crystal palace, with a statue standing in front of the palace. A statue of a woman, presumably the legendary water-cleansing True Lord. The entire legacy site was enveloped by a large formation, invisible to the naked eye, but penetrable by the zoomy eye. Swoosh! Yi Tian flew over, trying to enter the legacy site. At that moment, a beam of light scanned Yi Tian's body, detecting the god-level water talent on him. A light gate appeared, allowing Yi Tian to enter. Please leave a comment and review on novel updates. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 402, Obtaining the Water-Sinking Realm Divine Ability. TL. Etude. Upon entering the inheritance site of the water-cleansing True Lord, Yi Tian arrived in front of the Crystal Palace. The water Yuan Qi here is so rich. Taking a deep breath, Yi Tian felt as if he was enveloped in warm water, which was very comfortable. The water Yuan Qi here was much richer than that at the bottom of the water-cleansing realm. If a person with a water-type talent were to cultivate here, their cultivation speed would definitely be much faster than in other places. Yi Tian did not forget the purpose of his trip and continued on. The Crystal Palace was the site of inheritance. One could only receive the inheritance by entering the Crystal Palace. However, Yi Tian was very clear that those so-called powerful beings would definitely not easily give their inheritance to others. There must be a test. Entering the Crystal Palace, a spirit appeared. This spirit took the form of a 10-year-old girl, looking very cute. Despite her youthful appearance, the spirit was not actually a little girl. She had existed for countless years. Even if her mental maturity could hardly grow, she was definitely comparable to an adult human. Contestant, your arrival at the Master's Palace indicates that you are fated with the Master's inheritance. The Master has left behind various inheritances here. Which inheritance do you desire? As the spirit spoke, she waved her hand, and a light screen appeared. The screen displayed many types of inheritances. For example, Divine Power Cultivation Technique Inheritance. Divine Power Defense Secret Technique Inheritance. Physical Body Cultivation Secret Technique Inheritance. Water Attribute Divine Ability Inheritance. I choose the Water Attribute Divine Ability Inheritance, Yi Tian said without hesitation. Although he was also interested in other inheritances, the Water-Sinking Realm Divine Ability was a top-notch divine ability and one of the 5 elements divine abilities. If he missed this opportunity, he didn't know when he would be able to obtain it again. If the Water Attribute Divine Ability Inheritance really included the Water-Sinking Realm Divine Ability, then it would be a huge gain for him. Therefore, he would only choose the Water Attribute Divine Ability Inheritance. Contestant, you have chosen the Water Attribute Divine Ability Inheritance. To obtain the inheritance, you must undergo a test. Don't worry, the Master is very kind. The test will not endanger your life. The little spirit spoke. Then let's start the test, Yi Tian said. Boom, a gate of light appeared in Yi Tian's sight, and the little spirit pointed at the gate of light. Enter. If you pass the test, you can obtain the Master's Water Attribute Divine Ability Inheritance. Yi Tian hesitated for only a second before stepping into the gate of light. This gate of light was just a small teleportation gate. Through this teleportation gate, Yi Tian arrived at a great hall. In this great hall stood a stele, engraved with the laws and patterns representing the water attribute. It's similar to the law patterns of the Phantom Gold Thread Divine Ability, but this stele seems to have some additional law patterns that don't quite fit. They must have been modified by the water-cleansing True Lord to adapt the water-sinking realm's law patterns for this test, Yi Tian guessed. At that moment, the spirit reappeared and said, the test set by the Master is to comprehend the law patterns on this stele. You have 3 months. If you can use these law patterns to create a water attribute secret technique, then you are considered to have passed the test. However, I will determine the quality of the water attribute divine ability inheritance you receive based on the effectiveness of the secret technique you create. If you only create a mediocre water attribute secret technique, then you can only obtain a lesser water attribute divine ability. Conversely, you can obtain a very good water attribute divine ability. Upon hearing this, Yi Tian was intrigued and quickly asked, Spirit, does the water attribute divine ability reward include the water sinking realm divine ability? Of course, why are you asking this? You better hurry up with the test. If you fail, you won't receive any reward. The spirit disappeared instantly. It's definitely there. Yi Tian smiled inwardly. Although the spirit didn't explicitly reveal it, she had let it slip, and it was too late to correct herself. Since the water-sinking realm divine ability was part of the inheritance, he hoped to obtain it. Let's start comprehending. Yi Tian sat cross-legged and began to comprehend the water attribute law patterns on the stele. To create the best water attribute secret technique, Yi Tian not only activated his top-tier talent for comprehension and brought out wondrous objects to aid in comprehension but also activated his ability to accelerate time by tenfold. In any case, Yi Tian had to put in his full effort to comprehend, without the slightest relaxation. After all, he did not know the standards of the water-cleansing True Lord's test. If the standards were extremely demanding and he did not take it seriously, leading to missing out on the water-sinking realm divine ability, he would surely regret it dearly. Time passed day by day. In fact, Yi Tian had almost comprehended the water attribute law patterns on the steel within a few days, but merely doing so was not enough. He had to fully comprehend these water attribute law patterns and then use them to deduce a water attribute secret technique. If it were just about deducing a simple secret technique, Yi Tian could have done it in a day. However, he needed to deduce a very powerful secret technique to have a chance at obtaining the water-sinking realm divine ability. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed in the outside world. Yi Tian had already successfully created a secret technique but was not very satisfied with it, so he continued to deduce and refine this secret technique. This secret technique was a defensive and offensive water attribute secret technique. There were many types of secret techniques, but those which were very peculiar and difficult to categorize are collectively referred to as secret techniques. But the execution of secret techniques also relied on Yuan force, and Yuan force defense secret techniques were also a type of secret technique. If all secret techniques at the Emperor level were to be classified from 1 star to 9 stars, similar to the classification of Yuan force defense secret techniques, then the water attribute secret technique Yi Tian initially created was only a 4-star water attribute secret technique. He was now refining it towards a 5-star secret technique. In the blink of an eye, another month passed. After numerous refinements by Yi Tian, he finally succeeded in refining this secret technique to the 6-star level, surpassing his initial expectations. But Yi Tian was still not satisfied. He planned to refine this secret technique to the 7-star level, which was considered high level. Finally, on the day when the 3-month deadline was about to end, Yi Tian finally refined this water attribute secret technique to the 7-star level. Phew, finally refined it to the 7-star level. In a tenfold accelerated environment, I've used a total of 30 months. Yi Tian took a deep breath and sighed. If it were a regular Emperor-level cultivator, they wouldn't be able to create a 7-star water attribute secret technique in their entire lifetime. A few days later, the little spirit appeared. The assessment time is up. Please, contestant, display the water attribute secret technique. The little spirit said. Yi Tian stood up and executed the secret technique. Water Dragon Realm Technique. Boom. Rows of water dragons surrounded Yi Tian, forming a water dragon barrier, and due to the frantic rotation of the water dragons, a powerful strangulation force was formed. If an enemy were to attack him, they would not only be blocked by the water dragon realm technique but also attacked by the water dragons. This secret technique was a defensive and offensive water attribute secret technique. However, secret techniques were just secret techniques, only usable at the Emperor level, and consumed a significant amount of Yuan force. Divine abilities, on the other hand, were different. Once mastered, even at the God, True God, and Great God levels, they still had a terrifying amplification effect. This was one of the reasons why secret techniques were far inferior to divine abilities and talents. Evaluating. The little spirit was judging. The shock in her eyes revealed her surprise. How could Yi Tian create such an advanced water attribute secret technique? However, she had to test it before determining the result. Otherwise, if Yi Tian were to use a water attribute secret technique he learned from the outside world to cheat, she would definitely not pass him. The means left by the water cleansing True Lord included the ability to test this. They just needed to match the laws contained in this water attribute secret technique with the water attribute law patterns on the steel to determine whether Yi Tian's secret technique was created based on the steel. Time passed little by little, about 10 minutes later. The little spirit spoke. Evaluation successful, the contestant has successfully completed the assessment and received the highest rating. The contestant may choose one top-tier water attribute divine ability inheritance. Whoosh! 3 top-tier water attribute divine abilities appeared in front of Yi Tian. Top-tier water attribute divine ability Water God Colossus. Top-tier water attribute divine ability Spear of the Water God. Top-tier water attribute divine ability Water Sinking Realm. There were 3 top-tier water attribute divine abilities in total, and Yi Tian, after reviewing the introductions of these 3 divine abilities, truly wanted all of them. The Water God Colossus and the Spear of the Water God, these 2 top-tier water attribute divine abilities, were inheritances from the same lineage. If he were to learn these 2 water attribute divine abilities at once, it would be powerful enough to exert a stronger effect than an ordinary top-tier water attribute divine ability. Unfortunately, Yi Tian could only choose one water attribute divine ability. Forget it, I am not primarily focused on water attribute divine abilities. I am just collecting the 5 elements great divine abilities, and the water sinking realm must be obtained. Yi Tian decisively said, I choose the water sinking realm. Yi Tian told the little spirit. Granted. The little spirit took out the inheritance gold book of the water-sinking realm divine ability and handed it to Yi Tian. Holding the gold book of the water attribute divine ability, Yi Tian quickly confirmed that it was the water-sinking realm divine ability, one of the 5 elements' great divine abilities. You should leave now. The little spirit activated the crystal palace, moving Yi Tian out. Chapter 403. A wondrous object of time. TL. Etude. In the outskirts of the inheritance site of the water-cleansing true lord. Yi Tian was teleported here and took a glance at the divine tome of water-sinking realm's divine ability inheritance he held, before tucking it away. This water-cleansing true lord was indeed as benevolent as the artifact spirit had mentioned, far more so than the dark star demon god. From the assessment of the water-cleansing true lord, anyone who entered the inheritance site would be safe, regardless of who they were. In contrast, the inheritance left by the dark star demon god was fraught with difficulties, where one could easily lose their life in pursuit of benefits. Of course, in the universe, benevolent beings like the water-cleansing true lord were extremely rare. Many ancient beings didn't want others to benefit from their relics, setting numerous lethal arrays and traps. Yet, fearing that future generations of great beings might forcefully break in, they allowed only emperors to enter. This way, if emperors could enter, the great beings would let the younger generations benefit without destroying the relics. Otherwise, if no benefits were given for future generations, the existing great beings would likely just destroy these relics. Thus, ancient great beings usually left behind treasures for future generations to inherit, becoming a rule. However, many great beings were reluctant to give away their treasures or inheritances, setting extremely harsh assessments, with some even more brutal than those set by the dark star demon god. Having obtained the inheritance of the water-sinking realm's divine ability, Yi Tian had no intention of leaving the water-cleansing realm. Because he wanted to replicate a high-level time talent. There must be more than one misty fish with a high-level time talent in the water-cleansing realm. With patience, he was sure to find one. Thus, Yi Tian began his patient search for misty fish in the water-cleansing realm, occasionally pondering over the water-sinking realm's divine ability. Although he had acquired the water-sinking realm's divine ability, Yi Tian could only ponder over it for now, unable to practice it. It also required auxiliary materials, essential for every divine ability. The water-sinking realm's divine ability needed 6 materials, but Yi Tian didn't have a single one at the moment. However, with the divine ability inheritance in hand, he could practice it once all materials were collected in the future, so he was not in a rush. Time passed day by day, and a month flew by in the blink of an eye. During this month, Yi Tian found 2 misty fish, but one had a basic level time talent and the other an intermediate level time talent. Although Yi Tian could use the divine talent elixir to forcibly upgrade the misty fish's time talent to a high-level talent, he was reluctant to do so. His remaining divine talent elixir was scarce, and the Sakura god tree had long perished. After leaving the Milky Way, he realized the preciousness of the divine talent elixir. The big shots in the Milky Way were unaware of the divine talent elixir on Earth, otherwise, they would have long since come to plunder it. Therefore, Yi Tian didn't want to deplete his remaining divine talent elixir. Of course, since misty fish with time talents were precious, so Yi Tian captured these 2 fish to sell later, which would earn him a fortune. One day, as Yi Tian passed through a body of water, his expression suddenly changed. The power of time. Yi Tian clearly felt a change in time in this area. Although it was faint and imperceptible to most, Yi Tian, with his high-level time talent, noticed it. Normally, the time in an area doesn't change unless a creature with a time talent alters the flow of time. But it's impossible to continuously change the flow of time, as maintaining a time talent requires energy. However, Yi Tian stood there for a long time, and the change in time persisted. There's something nearby that affects time, Yi Tian speculated. If that was the case, then this time-affecting treasure must be extraordinary, possibly even of great use to him. Yi Tian activated his high-level time talent, carefully sensing the changes in time, and moved around the area, searching for where the time fluctuations were more intense. It's underwater. Yi Tian dove into the water, and as he approached a certain spot on the seabed, the time anomalies intensified. When he reached the bottom, he discovered an underground river extending downwards. Thus, Yi Tian followed the underground river deeper. Soon, he realized that the passage of the underground river was getting narrower, but his human body could still pass through without problems. Before long, Yi Tian arrived in a vast underwater space, filled with water, where he made an astonishing discovery. Misty fish. Yi Tian was greatly surprised. After sensing the presence of misty fish, he immediately phased into the spatial dimension. The invisibility talent was not very effective underwater, as invisibility only prevents one from being seen by the naked eye and makes it difficult for spiritual sense to detect, but it cannot make one's body disappear. Moving would still cause changes in the water flow, making complete invisibility impossible. Only by phasing into the spatial dimension could he avoid being detected by the misty fish. 1, 2, 3. Yi Tian carefully counted the misty fish and found that there were 9 in total. He then used his replication talent to check the talents of these 9 misty fish and was immediately shocked. All 9 possess high-level time talents. This is unbelievable. Yi Tian was immensely surprised. He then carefully observed this underwater space and discovered an object. It was a multicolored prism-like crystal, extending directly from a rock, and all 9 misty fish were staying near this crystal. A wondrous object of time. Yi Tian's breathing became rapid. This crystal was a wondrous object, which Yi Tian recognized at a glance. The time fluctuations were emanating from this multicolored crystal, and the changes in time around it were all influenced by this time wondrous object. These misty fish's time talents must have been influenced by this time wondrous object. It must be capable of enhancing the level of time talents, otherwise, it's impossible for all the misty fish here to possess high-level time talents. Yi Tian thought. As for why there were misty fish with basic and intermediate time talents in the water cleansing realm, Yi Tian guessed that those were the offspring of misty fish, unaware of this time wondrous object's existence, otherwise, they would have come here long ago. I am going to make a fortune. Yi Tian was very excited. This time, not only could he elevate his time talent to the top level, but he also acquired so many high-level time talent misty fish and a priceless time wondrous object. This was undoubtedly a heaven-defying opportunity. High-level time talent, replicate. High-level time talent, replicate. High-level time talent, replicate. Yi Tian replicated 5 high-level time talents at once. He wanted to replicate all 9 high-level time talents at once, but he could only replicate 5 talents per day, so he had to wait until the next day to replicate the remaining ones. To avoid any unforeseen complications, he'll capture these misty fish first. Capturing these misty fish, Yi Tian dared not be careless, as there were 9 misty fish in total, and missing even one would cause him great distress. Fortunately, the strength levels of these misty fish varied. There was only 1 demigod-level misty fish, while the other 8 were emperor-level misty fish. Apart from the time talent, their other talents were relatively ordinary, at most equivalent to 5 or 6-star heavenly prides. Except for the demigod-level misty fish, which was more powerful, possessing the strength of a 7-star peerless heavenly pride. But Yi Tian was an 8-star peerless heavenly pride. With a bit of caution, capturing these 9 misty fish was not a problem. Of course, Yi Tian also had to be wary of the blades of time from the 9 misty fish. If all 9 could unleash blades of time simultaneously, being hit by 9 blades of time would mean losing 900 years of lifespan instantly. Although Yi Tian's lifespan had reached 13,000 years due to the first realm of the art of immortality, he was not willing to lose 900 years of lifespan. Yi Tian approached the 9 misty fish, extending a hand from the spatial dimension. Zoomy palm. A giant hand reached out and enveloped all 9 misty fish. Due to Yi Tian's swift speed, combined with the super god-level Zoomy palm technique, ordinary misty fish couldn't resist and were directly captured into the Zoomy realm. However, the demigod-level misty fish was not weak and possessed a time talent and god-level water evasion talent. Plus, Yi Tian was covering all 9 misty fish at once, spreading his power thin, which allowed the demigod-level misty fish to break free from Zoomy palm in time. Blade of Time. The demigod-level misty fish spat out an invisible blade of time. The blade of time could ignore space, so even if Yi Tian hid in the spatial dimension, he would still be hit as if he did nothing. Thus, Yi Tian also unleashed his blade of time. Bang! The 2 blades of time collided, dissipating simultaneously. Chapter 404. Top-tier time talent, acquisition of a time wondrous object. TL. Etude. The only thing that could withstand a blade of time was another blade of time. At this moment, because only the demigod misty fish wielded the blade of time against him, Yi Tian was able to easily block the misty fish's attacks. Had he been facing 9 misty fish simultaneously, it would have been difficult to defend, and he would certainly have lost some of his lifespan. The appearance of the dimensional cube artifact amplified Yi Tian's spatial talents, freezing the space around him. The demigod-level misty fish, originally planning to escape, found itself unable to flee. Even with its various talents, it couldn't contend with Yi Tian. Zoomy palm. Yi Tian executed this super god-level palm technique once again. The demigod-level misty fish could only watch in despair as it was captured by Yi Tian into the Zoomy realm, becoming his prisoner. With all the misty fish captured, and their strength insufficient to break the Zumi realm, Yi Tian turned his attention to the multicolored crystal. As he approached this time-wondrous object, he sensed intense fluctuations of time. I wonder if I can take it. Yi Tian attempted to grasp the time-wondrous object, trying to separate it from the rock. But the moment he exerted force, the time fluctuations erupted. Instantly, time around him slowed down by many folds, far more than just 20 times, and Yi Tian's soul was also trapped in a state of stagnation by the power of time. After a long while, 10 days have passed. His expression changed. Possessing time talent, he could easily determine how much time had passed. The severe slowdown of time had kept him in this highly decelerated time environment. By the time the fluctuations from the time-wondrous object had calmed down, 10 days had passed in the outside world. 10 days might seem insignificant, but who knows how many years might pass if the time-wondrous object were disturbed again. My high-level time talent simply cannot contend with the time-wondrous object, even my thoughts can be frozen. Yi Tian was troubled. He really wanted to take this time-wondrous object with him. Even if he couldn't take it, leaving it here exposed was not an option. Right, I've copied so many high-level time talents. If I fuse them to upgrade my talent to top tier, I may be able to face the time-wondrous object. Thus, Yi Tian began to fuse the high-level time talents. Boom! The fusion of the first high-level time talent began, and a transformation ensued. Yi Tian felt not only pain as if his soul was being sucked into a vortex of time. After a long time, Yi Tian felt a pleasant sensation in his soul, and his body felt refreshed. The fusion of the time talent was complete. Immediately, Yi Tian checked his time talent. Time talent, top. Seeing his time talent upgraded to top tier, Yi Tian was very excited. He quickly learned the abilities of the top tier time talent. It could accelerate or decelerate time by 20 times. Furthermore, the blade of time was now able to reduce 200 years of lifespan at once. And he had more time talents to spare. Continue fusing. Yi Tian knew that continuing to fuse could potentially upgrade his time talent to the pseudo-mystic level, as he had experimented before. At least, it could make his top-tier time talent slightly stronger. If it were any other top-tier talent, he might not be interested, but for the time talent, he was willing to put the effort just to make it even a bit stronger. After all, with so many high-level time talents available, why not fuse them? So, Yi Tian began to fuse one high-level time talent after another, gradually strengthening his top-tier time talent. In a short while, the remaining 4 high-level time talents were fused by Yi Tian into his top-tier time talent. Continue copying. Yi Tian copied the high-level time talents from the remaining 4 misty fish and continued to fuse them. After back and forth copying and fusing, it took Yi Tian almost half a day. It's still a top-tier time talent. Yi Tian was not surprised by this outcome. Even after copying several top-tier time talents, it was impossible for him to evolve to the pseudo-mystic level. It seems like for him to upgrade to the pseudo-mystic level, he would either need to copy the pseudo-mystic level time talent from another creature or comprehend the mysteries of time on his own. There was no other way. Although I can't evolve it further, my top-tier time talent has definitely reached the pinnacle of this level. Yi Tian confidently stated. Next, he prepared to attempt to acquire the time-wondrous object again. Yi Tian activated his top-tier time talent, remaining vigilant at all times, ready to counter the impending time fluctuations. Boom! Yi Tian grasped the time-wondrous object and yanked it forcefully. Immediately, the time-wondrous object unleashed terrifying time fluctuations. These fluctuations made the surrounding time seem to stagnate, while time in the outside world was passing by, causing a significant lapse. At this moment, Yi Tian's soul was protected by the top-tier time talent, and retained its ability to think. Crack! The time-wondrous object was slowly pulled out by Yi Tian, but the process was slow. From the outside world's perspective, it seemed like Yi Tian wasn't moving at all, affected by the slowed time. It was unclear how much time had passed. Yi Tian successfully extracted the entire time-wondrous object, and afterward, the time fluctuations emitted by it gradually returned to calm. Cubed, pound A. Not degree. Once the time fluctuations normalized, Yi Tian calculated and found that a month had passed in the outside world. Time talents are terrifying. Fortunately, I possess the copy talent. It would be impossible for others to take this time-wondrous object. Yi Tian sighed. Immediately afterward, he became excited again. This time-wondrous object was of great use to him. Although it was unlikely to elevate the level of his time talent, he could potentially comprehend the mysteries of time with the aid of this object. This time-wondrous object was clearly a treasure for aiding in the comprehension of time mysteries. Put it away. After storing the time-wondrous object in his personal Zumi realm, Yi Tian prepared to leave this place. But before leaving, he had one more task to complete, erasing part of the Misty Fish's memories. The intelligence of these 9 Misty Fish was not low, and they had always lived in this underwater space, aware of the existence of the time-wondrous object. If Yi Tian killed them, there would be no need to worry about the exposure of the time-wondrous object. However, if he wanted to sell them for a vast amount of resources and treasures, he had to erase their memories related to the time-wondrous object. Otherwise, if the time-wondrous object was exposed, Yi Tian would be in big trouble. Thus, Yi Tian began to erase the memories of the Misty Fish one by one. Erasing memories was troublesome because the Misty Fish would resist, but Yi Tian possessed a hypnosis talent, allowing him to erase the Misty Fish's memories related to the time-wondrous object while they were unable to resist. Of course, erasing memories was a massive undertaking, requiring careful attention to ensure the Misty Fish's souls were not too severely damaged. As a result, erasing the memory of the first Misty Fish took Yi Tian a long time, a full 5 days, before he successfully erased its memory related to the time-wondrous object completely, almost irrecoverably. Because Yi Tian directly obliterated the part of the soul that held the memory of the time-wondrous object, restoring this memory would require many precious soul treasures, which the buyers of the Misty Fish probably wouldn't undertake. After all, they didn't know about the time-wondrous object beforehand, so why would they care about the Misty Fish's memories? Erasing the memory of the second Misty Fish was much easier, taking only 3 days, and the third took only 2 days. In this manner, it didn't take long for Yi Tian to erase all memories related to the time-wondrous object from the 9 Misty Fish. At this point, they only knew they had been captured by Yi Tian while playing. All done, now I can leave. Yi Tian employed his god-level water escape talent to leave the area and then flew out of the water surface, heading towards the exit of the water cleansing realm. At the exit of the water cleansing realm, Yi Tian emerged and came into the outside world. At that moment, the divine consciousness of a group of god-level powerhouses swept over him. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, linked to Patreon. Chapter 405, Making a Name in the MoMA Galaxy. TL. Etude. The group of god-level powerhouses noticed Yi Tian emerging but didn't pay much attention, merely glancing over him. Yi Tian left the planet and chose not to trade at the spaceport. Although he wanted to trade the Misty Fish, he possessed 9 Misty Fish with high-level time talents, 1 with a medium-level time talent, and 1 with a basic-level time talent. There wasn't much of value at this spaceport. Even if he offered the Misty Fish with high-level time talents, he could at best trade for a large amount of star points and not the valuable items he needed. Moreover, he wouldn't trade all the Misty Fish at once, so he decided not to make the trade here. Regarding Yi Tian's departure, almost no one noticed. In their eyes, Yi Tian was at best an emperor-level figure without significant achievements, not worth their attention. In the following days, Yi Tian inquired about the current value of the Misty Fish in the MoMA Galaxy. Any Misty Fish was extremely valuable. art2eboL.com. A Misty Fish with a basic level time talent was valued at 10 billion each, while those with medium level time talents were worth up to 1 trillion each. As for the Misty Fish with high-level time talents, they were priceless. No one was selling Misty Fish with high-level time talents, there wasn't even any news about how many had been captured. For instance, Heavenly Pride Mo Wen obtained a Misty Fish with a high-level time talent, but no information leaked, clearly indicating a cover-up. It seems the Misty Fish with high-level time talents are very valuable. I wonder if Heavenly Pride Mo Wen and others would still want them. Yi Tian considered trading with Heavenly Pride Mo Wen. Given his background, he should be able to afford a few Misty Fish. However, Yi Tian was not well known in the MoMA Galaxy, lacking channels for trading. Thus, he decided to make a name for himself in the MoMA Galaxy before trading the Misty Fish. Consequently, over the next several days, Yi Tian continuously challenged some Heavenly Prides in the MoMA Galaxy for friendly duels. Of course, he targeted the 7-star peerless Heavenly Prides, defeating them easily and gaining a lot of destiny. However, such actions couldn't be taken too frequently, or it would provoke public anger. The MoMA Galaxy, unlike the Andromeda or Milky Way galaxies, wasn't far from the Hengpan Galaxy and had contact with many other galaxies, leading to more established rules here, limiting certain actions. For example, during the period of Heavenly Pride battles, 8-star peerless Heavenly Prides could challenge 7-star ones for destiny. If they only challenged other 8-star peers, the weaker ones would be doomed. Thus, challenging 7-star peers was allowed. However, if an 8-star peer challenged too many 7-star peers within a galaxy, it would break the rules and invite suppression from all other 8-star peers. Therefore, after challenging 7 or 8 7-star peerless heavenly prides, Yi Tian shifted his focus to the 8-star peerless heavenly prides. The MoMA galaxy had only 4 8-star peerless heavenly prides, but due to the emergence of the water cleansing realm, more had come to the MoMA galaxy. Yi Tian learned of an 8-star peerless heavenly pride from outside the galaxy named Heavenly Pride Kingming, who had just emerged from the water cleansing realm not long ago, apparently gaining many valuable items and was currently challenging heavenly prides on Tamu Star in the MoMA galaxy. Tamu Star was a main planet in the MoMA galaxy, home to many powerful heavenly prides. Little I, set the coordinates for Tamu Star and initiate a spatial jump. We're heading to Tamu Star. Yi Tian entered his 5-star cosmic ship and gave the order. Yes, Master. Inputting coordinates for Tamu Star input successful. Initiating spatial jump in 3, 2, 1. Boom. The cosmic ship began its spatial jump. On Tamu Star. Heavenly Pride Kingming was effortlessly challenging 2 top-tier 7-star peerless heavenly prides. These 2 top-tier 7-star peerless heavenly prides didn't want to face Heavenly Pride Kingming, but had no choice when he approached them. Unless they hid or left secretly, they couldn't refuse Heavenly Pride Kingming's challenge. Losing would only mean a loss of some destiny, but fleeing would mean losing face. Other 7-star heavenly prides dared to accept the challenge, so why couldn't they? Thus, they had no choice but to bravely face the challenge. Despite being 2 against 1, the gap between 7-star and 8-star peerless heavenly prides was vast, leaving them unable to win. Boom! Heavenly Pride Kingming defeated the 2 7-star peerless heavenly prides with his staff, severely injuring them, prompting their immediate surrender. Heavenly Pride Kingming secured a victory in this challenge, slightly increasing his own destiny. I should find an 8-star peerless heavenly pride for a sparring match next. But whom should I choose? Heavenly Pride Kingming pondered. However, at that moment, the aura of another heavenly pride approached. Heavenly Pride Kingming, do you dare battle with me? As soon as these words were spoken, a young man approached. It was Yi Tian, Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, it's you. Heavenly Pride Kingming recognized Yi Tian. During this period, Yi Tian had challenged several 7-star peerless heavenly prides and easily won, solidifying his strength as that of an 8-star peerless heavenly pride. Having investigated Heavenly Pride Kingming, Yi Tian was also known to Kingming. Indeed, both of us are 8-star peerless heavenly prides. Why not have a friendly spar? Yi Tian proposed. Agreed. Heavenly Pride Kingming's aura burst forth with intense battle intent. The impending clash between 2 8-star peerless heavenly prides caused spectators who were about to leave to stay, and many martial warriors from nearby also rushed over upon hearing the news. A battle between 8-star peerless heavenly prides was a rare sight. Even the 2 7-star peerless heavenly prides who were defeated didn't rush to heal their injuries but chose to observe this battle from a distance instead. Heavenly Pride Kingming, known for his staff technique talent, was facing Yi Tian, who had never encountered a heavenly pride with such talent before. Soon, the two engaged in battle. At the moment they clashed, Yi Tian assessed Heavenly Pride Kingming's talents. Human, Yang Ming, Cultivation Talent, Desolate Level. Strength Talent, God Level. Defense Talent, God Level. Extreme Speed Talent, God Level. Staff Technique Talent, Dawn Level. Qingwood Talent, God Level. Qing Pupil Talent, God Level. Indeed worthy of an 8-star peerless heavenly pride, impressive talents. Yi Tian silently appraised. However, compared to Yi Tian, Heavenly Pride Kingming was still somewhat inferior. Yi Tian's strength was considered upper middle among the 8-star peerless heavenly prides, whereas Kingming was more lower middle. Thus, Kingming was at a disadvantage from the start of their clash. Yi Tian's spatial talent greatly suppressed Kingming, and Yi Tian's god-level martial skills, the Phantom God Blade technique and the vast Phantom Palm, caused significant damage to Kingming, sending him flying repeatedly. The battle lasted less than a minute before Kingming's injuries became too severe to heal quickly. Continuing at this pace, Kingming was bound to lose. Spatial Collapse. Yi Tian suddenly used this ability, trapping Kingming within a collapsing space. With a thunderous boom, Kingming broke free from the spatial collapse with a god-level staff technique. But at that moment, Yi Tian's Phantom God Blade technique struck directly at Kingming's chest, piercing through his defensive artifact and inflicting severe injuries as the blade chi invaded Kingming's body. Realizing the dire situation, Kingming immediately conceded, Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, I admit defeat. This wasn't his territory, and a severe injury could be fatal if Yi Tian didn't kill him, but another 8-star Peerless Heavenly Pride intercepted him. Knowing he was outmatched, he chose to concede early. Accepted. I accept your concession. Yi Tian ceased his attack. With Qingming's concession, Yi Tian won the battle, capturing a portion of Qingming's destiny and significantly increasing his own. At that moment, Yi Tian checked the Heavenly Pride leaderboard and noticed a considerable improvement in his ranking. Heavenly Pride leaderboard. Rank 3630th. Upon arriving in the MoMA galaxy, Yi Tian was ranked in the 6000s. After defeating several Heavenly Prides from the MoMA galaxy, his rank improved to the 4 to 5000s. Now, he had surged to the 3630th place on the Heavenly Pride leaderboard. If he could sweep through the MoMA galaxy, his rank might even break into the top 1000. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 406, Before the Apotheosis Pavilion, a Transaction. TL. Etude. After admitting defeat, Heavenly Pride Qingming immediately felt embarrassed and left the area. With that, the battle between the 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides came to an end. As the fight concluded, Yi Tian's fame grew even more resounding. Soon, many powerful forces on Tamu Star learned of Yi Tian's victory over Heavenly Pride Qingming, leading to increased attention towards him. Yi Tian knew that the outcome of today's battle would spread throughout the entire MoMA galaxy in just a few days. This was the result he desired. Once his reputation spread, it would be easier to conduct transactions with other powerful forces. Otherwise, if he were an unknown, why would any other force pay him any attention? Moke Star. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen, currently on Moke Star, also became aware of the outcome of Yi Tian's battle with Heavenly Pride Qingming. Moke Star was one of the 6 main planets of the MoMA galaxy. These 6 main planets orbited around a supermassive black hole at the center. The MoMA galaxy seemed to have very few main planets. For instance, the Milky Way had 9 main planets, and the Andromeda galaxy had 10 main planets. However, quantity often didn't matter as much as quality. A single main planet in the MoMA galaxy could match all the main planets of the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxy combined. Among the 6 main planets of the MoMA galaxy, each harbored more than 1 or 2 planetary-level powerhouses. In contrast, planetary-level powerhouses in the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxy were extremely rare and hardly ever made a move. This highlighted the strength of the MoMA galaxy. At this moment, Heavenly Pride Mo Wen, looking at the virtual world and discussing the outcome of the 8-star Heavenly Pride's battle, murmured. The strength of the Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws is indeed formidable. Even if I were to face Heavenly Pride Qingming, my chances of winning wouldn't exceed 50%. I didn't expect the Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws to defeat Heavenly Pride Qingming so easily. With the strength of the Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws, he will undoubtedly challenge other 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides in the MoMA galaxy. Besides the external 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides, there are only 4 such Heavenly Prides in the entire MoMA galaxy, and he is one of them. If Yi Tian challenges the other 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides, he will eventually challenge him as well. During the Heavenly Pride battle, destiny was extremely important. As an 8-star Peerless Heavenly Pride, he also aimed to become a child of the universe. Therefore, he did not want to lose to other 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides, as losing would significantly diminish his destiny. With the help of my elders, I have made the Misty Fish recognize me as its master. This Misty Fish can initiate a 10-fold time acceleration. Under this acceleration, my cultivation speed will increase 10-fold. With a few more years of cultivation, I will surely reach the higher echelons of 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides, or even become a top-tier 8-star Peerless Heavenly Pride. Then, I will have the strength to vie for those great opportunities and even hope to challenge the 9-star Peerless Heavenly Prides. Being a 9-star Peerless Heavenly Pride was also one of Heavenly Pride Mo Wen's goals, as only those who have broken through the 20th physical limit as a 9-star Heavenly Pride can become a child of the universe. In the entire Pan-star field, 9-star Peerless Heavenly Prides were extremely rare. Those few 9-star Peerless Heavenly Prides, with their incredible talents, barely made it into the ranks but were unable to break through the 20th physical limit. He even knew that the reason the top-tier dominant forces in the Pan-star field initiated the Heavenly Pride battle was mainly for those 9-star Peerless Heavenly Prides. The main goal was to gather immense destiny for these 9-star Peerless Heavenly Prides to attempt breaking through the 20th physical limit and give birth to a child of the universe. Currently, he did not qualify to compete with 9-star Peerless Heavenly Prides for destiny, but that didn't mean he wouldn't in the future. I must focus on cultivating. I hope the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws doesn't challenge me anytime soon. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen thought to himself. Then, he allowed the misty fish to continue maintaining the time acceleration and resumed his cultivation. A few days later, an emperor-level servant arrived outside Heavenly Pride Mo Wen's cultivation room. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen, the Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws has arrived at our Apotheosis Pavilion and wishes to see you. The emperor-level servant announced outside the cultivation room. What? The Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws is here. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen panicked internally. The situation he least wanted to face had occurred. He had hoped to cultivate peacefully for a few years and then advance to the higher ranks of 8-star peerless heavenly prides. However, he hadn't expected Yi Tian to show up. Never mind, at worst he'll just lose some destiny. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen stood up, exited his cultivation room, and adjusted his mindset. The Apotheosis Pavilion was the force Heavenly Pride Mo Wen belonged to. At this moment, outside the Apotheosis Pavilion, Heavenly Pride Mo Wen met Yi Tian. The Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws, if you've come to challenge me, then bring it on. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen said with a heavy voice. Yi Tian gestured with his hands, indicating there was no need for concern, and said, Heavenly Pride Mo Wen, I think you've misunderstood. I didn't come here to challenge you, but to propose a trade. Not a challenge. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen was taken aback. He then inquired, Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws, you've come to trade with me. What do you wish to trade? Don't tell me you want to trade for my misty fish. If that's the case, I am sorry, but I cannot sell the misty fish. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen, I indeed came here to trade misty fish, but not to get yours. Instead, I want to offer my misty fish to you. I am just not sure if you can afford this trade, Yi Tian responded, sparking interest in Heavenly Pride Mo Wen. You've caught another misty fish? Heavenly Pride Mo Wen asked, widening his eyes in surprise. Indeed, I've caught not just one misty fish but several. I was fortunate enough to find a nest of misty fish, containing several of them, including ones with high-level time talents. Capturing these misty fish cost me 200 years of my lifespan. Yi Tian said with a heavy sigh. Of course, this was a fabrication. He couldn't very well admit to easily capturing the misty fish. Exaggerating his losses would help raise the price. The Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws, I may not need a misty fish, but our Apotheosis Pavilion does. No matter how many misty fish you have, our pavilion can afford them. How many misty fish do you have? Heavenly Pride Mo Wen confidently stated, as the Apotheosis Pavilion was indeed very powerful. In the MoMA galaxy, the Apotheosis Pavilion was a dominant force with 3 to 4 planetary-level powerhouses. Such a powerful force could easily afford to trade for a few misty fish. I have 5 misty fish, 3 with high-level time talents, 1 with a medium-level talent, and another with a basic-level time talent, Yi Tian revealed, concealing the existence of the other 6 misty fish. He didn't want to trade all of them with the Apotheosis Pavilion, as they might not have everything he desired. In case the Apotheosis Pavilion couldn't meet his demands, he could trade the remaining misty fish with other forces. This was Yi Tian's plan. What, you have 5 misty fish, and 3 of them possess high-level time talents? Heavenly Pride Mo Wen was truly shocked. Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws, wait here. I'll contact my master immediately and have him trade with you, okay? Heavenly Pride Mo Wen hurriedly said. He feared Yi Tian might change his mind, and he currently lacked the resources to trade, hence the urgency to contact his master. His master was a planetary-level powerhouse with vast resources, who could easily provide what Yi Tian needed. Sure, Yi Tian agreed. His intention wasn't to trade with Heavenly Pride Mo Wen directly. After all, Heavenly Pride Mo Wen was merely an 8-star peerless Heavenly Pride and unlikely to possess what he needed. His real intention was to trade with the Apotheosis Pavilion. Soon, Heavenly Pride Mo Wen contacted his master and briefed him on the situation. A minute later, an elderly figure appeared before Yi Tian. This person appeared suddenly, moving so fast that even Yi Tian couldn't react. Yi Tian immediately realized that this must be Heavenly Pride Mo Wen's master. Since this person was within the range of his copy talent, Yi Tian used it to check the newcomer's talents. Human, Chen Changjiang, cultivation talent, Hong level. Strength talent, God level. Defense talent, God level. Speed talent, God level. Swordsmanship talent, Dawn level. With Hong level cultivation talent and considering his age, he must be a planetary level powerhouse. This was the second planetary-level powerhouse Yi Tian had encountered. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 407, bargaining with a planetary-level powerhouse. TL. Etude. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, this is my master, the unparalleled true monarch. Heavenly pride Mo Wen introduced to Yi Tian. Greetings, unparalleled true monarch. Yi Tian greeted with a fist salute. So, you are the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws. Do you really have 5 misty fish in your possession? The unparalleled true monarch was somewhat skeptical, hence his doubtful demeanor. At that moment, Yi Tian spread out his palm, projecting the scene within his storage realm. Within it, 5 misty fish could be seen swimming about. As for the other 6 misty fish, they weren't shown. The unparalleled true monarch recognized at a glance that these were indeed 5 misty fish. Very well, we, the Apotheosis Pavilion, will take these 5 misty fish. What do you desire in return? The unparalleled true monarch spoke generously, his tone suggesting that Apotheosis Pavilion was not short of funds and was ready for Yi Tian to make his demands. Unparalleled true monarch, I wish for a portion of purple river water, a portion of 9-fold weak water, a portion of 9-fold heavy water, an ice crystal heart, half a pound of frost dew, and a dream water pearl. Yi Tian listed the items he needed one by one. These 6 items were essential for the cultivation of the water-sinking realm divine ability and were indispensable. Only by gathering these 6 treasures could Yi Tian begin to cultivate the water-sinking realm divine ability. If he were to purchase them himself, there would be nowhere to buy such treasures, as no one would sell such items. Therefore, Yi Tian could only trade with a top powerhouse like the Apotheosis Pavilion in the MoMA Galaxy to quickly gather these 6 treasures. These 6 items are essential for cultivating the water-sinking realm divine ability. You must want to cultivate it, right? The unparalleled true monarch said, slightly surprised. Yes, I wish to cultivate the water-sinking realm divine ability. Yi Tian nodded in acknowledgement. Heavenly pride Mo Wen, standing beside him, was incredibly surprised. He knew better than anyone where Yi Tian's water-sinking realm divine ability came from. After all, the legacy site of the water-cleansing True Lord was something he had told Yi Tian about. He hadn't expected Yi Tian to actually enter the water-cleansing True Lord's legacy site and even obtain the water-sinking realm divine ability. The value of a top-tier water divine ability was immensely higher than that of a misty fish. Thinking this way, he realized that Yi Tian had made a huge profit from their initial trade. However, he didn't feel jealous of Yi Tian, as the water-sinking realm divine ability was of no use to him. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, would you be willing to trade the water-sinking realm divine ability? The unparalleled true monarch suddenly asked. Unparalleled true monarch, I am sorry, but I won't trade the water-sinking realm divine ability. Yi Tian flatly refused. Although Yi Tian declined, the unparalleled true monarch wasn't angry but just slightly regretful. The Apotheosis Pavilion was a top power in the MoMA Galaxy and wasn't lacking in divine abilities. For example, they possessed several water divine abilities, so not being able to trade for the water-sinking realm divine ability wasn't a big deal. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, the 6 items you mentioned are extremely precious. It's impossible to trade for all 6, and even the Apotheosis Pavilion cannot gather them. The unparalleled true monarch stated frankly. Yi Tian frowned slightly, having guessed that the 5 misty fish might not be enough to trade for these 6 treasures, but he had tried anyway. May I ask, unparalleled true monarch, how many of the treasures can the Apotheosis Pavilion offer? Yi Tian inquired. The unparalleled true monarch replied, the Apotheosis Pavilion can provide a portion of 9-fold weak water, a portion of 9-fold heavy water, and half a pound of frost dew. As for the other 3 items, we indeed do not possess them. Additionally, I can authorize an extra 100 divine crystals. Yi Tian pondered for a moment, then said, in addition to the 3 treasures, I would like an extra 200 divine crystals. If you agree, we can trade now. If the Apotheosis Pavilion is unwilling, I will seek a trade with other powers. The unparalleled true monarch was somewhat annoyed, feeling that Yi Tian was being overbearing. While 100 or even 200 divine crystals were mere trifles to him, he didn't appreciate being extorted by a junior at the emperor level. Had it been any other emperor acting so presumptuously, he would have crushed them already. However, Yi Tian was no ordinary emperor but a heavenly pride, and even if he were a weaker 1-star heavenly pride, the unparalleled true monarch wouldn't dare act against him. Heavenly prides must not be insulted. Divine beings above the god level must not act against heavenly prides. This was a rule set by the human upper echelons. Even as a planetary-level powerhouse, he dared not violate this rule. All right, I agree to your terms. The unparalleled true monarch said after some thought. He really had no choice but to agree, as the 5 misty fish were indeed very important to the Apotheosis Pavilion. The Apotheosis Pavilion could maximize the value of the 5 misty fish, and even if they paid a higher price, they wouldn't be at a loss. Moreover, if the Apotheosis Pavilion didn't trade with Yi Tian, he would trade the misty fish with other forces, which was something the Apotheosis Pavilion didn't want to see. The Apotheosis Pavilion had a competitive relationship with other forces in the Moma Galaxy and naturally didn't want other forces to obtain so many misty fish. Unparalleled True Monarch, since the Apotheosis Pavilion agrees to the trade, as soon as you bring the items I need, I will immediately trade the misty fish with the Apotheosis Pavilion. Yi Tian spoke very seriously. Wait here for a moment. The Unparalleled True Monarch vanished instantly. Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, you actually dared to bargain with my master, you're quite bold. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen said to Yi Tian with a look of surprise. I am a Heavenly Pride. No matter how strong your master is, he wouldn't dare to harm me, so what is there to fear? Yi Tian replied very calmly. You don't understand my master. In the Moma Galaxy, he is known by another title, God of Slaughter. Even Heavenly Prides wouldn't dare to disrespect my master. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen whispered. Yi Tian shrugged, not caring about any God of Slaughter title. After all, he wasn't from the Moma Galaxy and wouldn't stay there in the future. So, he wasn't intimidated. In less than half an hour, the Unparalleled True Monarch returned. Upon appearing before Yi Tian, he tossed a spatial ring to him. Here are the items you requested. Check them. Yi Tian sent his divine sense into the spatial ring and saw 200 divine crystals in 3 bottles. He then took out the 3 bottles and inspected them one by one. He confirmed that the bottles indeed contained 9-fold weak water, 9-fold heavy water, and frost dew, and the quantities were accurate. After confirming everything was correct, Yi Tian took out the 5 misty fish. Be careful, Unparalleled True Monarch. These 5 misty fish are in their prime and can unleash the Blade of Time. Yi Tian warned. No worries. With a wave of his hand, the Unparalleled True Monarch froze the 5 misty fish in place, preventing even the Blade of Time from being unleashed, which showed that their souls were also frozen. So powerful, Yi Tian silently appraised. With his current strength, he stood no chance against a planetary-level powerhouse. Planetary-level powerhouses were truly terrifying beings beyond his imagination. Unparalleled True Monarch, could you keep the trade of the misty fish with the Apotheosis Pavilion a secret? Yi Tian asked. Rest assured, the Apotheosis Pavilion will definitely not disclose this. The Unparalleled True Monarch agreed readily. After all, he had no intention of revealing this, not even wanting the outside world to know that the Apotheosis Pavilion had acquired so many misty fish. So even if Yi Tian hadn't mentioned it, the Apotheosis Pavilion would have kept it secret. The Unparalleled True Monarch took the 5 misty fish and left immediately. Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, the trade is complete. I need to return to my seclusion. Heavenly Pride Mo Wen hastily said. He was afraid Yi Tian would suddenly propose a sparring match, so he hurried off. Alright, I should also be leaving. Yi Tian bid farewell. Whoosh, Heavenly Pride Mo Wen vanished in an instant. Yi Tian couldn't help but smile at this, then teleported away. He was very satisfied with the trade, having acquired 3 treasures at once. As for the 3 missing treasures, he didn't believe other forces in the Moma Galaxy didn't have them. He'll wait a few more days, then look for other forces to trade the misty fish. Yi Tian secretly planned. Soon after, Yi Tian left the Moke Star. Time flew, and 6 days passed. One day, Yi Tian arrived at one of the 6 main planets of the Moma Galaxy, the Gala Star. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, linked to Patreon. Chapter 408. Mastering the Water-Sinking Realm, an Upper 8-Star Peerless Heavenly Pride. TL. Etude. Yi Tian came to Gala Star, simply because Gala Star was the closest to Moke Star. He could have found another major power on Moke Star to trade the misty fish with, but after giving it some thought, he decided against it. The Apotheosis Pavilion was on Moke Star, and if the people from the Apotheosis Pavilion knew he was trading misty fish again, it wouldn't be too good. Although the possibility of being discovered wasn't very high, Yi Tian was a cautious person and thought it best to leave Moke Star and head to Gala Star. On his way to Gala Star, he had already thought of a plan. This time, he planned to conduct a trade with the Shaman Temple on Gala Star. The Shaman Temple was a top-notch major power, second only to the Apotheosis Pavilion. This power had a good reputation, not too overbearing, and more importantly, this power was very wealthy, owning many technology companies and businesses that spread across many galaxies. It was for these reasons that Yi Tian chose this power. Such a force wouldn't lack money and wouldn't fear being cheated. If he had chosen a power with a bad reputation, he would definitely have been cheated, and there was no telling whether they might secretly leak his trading activities. That was also a possibility. But with a power like the Shaman Temple, which had a good reputation, there was no need to worry about them making any excessive moves. Soon, Yi Tian arrived at Gala Star and then, as the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, got in touch with a god-level deacon of the Shaman Temple. Even for a god-level deacon of the Shaman Temple, a visit from an 8-star peerless heavenly pride was treated with great courtesy, something that wouldn't happen for ordinary emperors or common heavenly prides. The god-level deacon Yi Tian met was named Sun Miao. Because he was a deacon of the Shaman Temple, people called him Deacon Sun, and his title was not mentioned. Deacon Sun, I have a deal for you, and I wonder if the Shaman Temple might be interested, Yi Tian said directly. Oh, what kind of deal? Deacon Sun showed a hint of interest. Misty fish, and it's a misty fish with a high-level time talent. Is the Shaman Temple interested? Yi Tian asked. Misty fish, really? Deacon Sun's pupils shrank, and he asked in utter shock. Indeed. Yi Tian nodded and projected a misty fish from his handheld zoomy storage realm. It was the one he intended to trade this time. Misty fish, wait here, I'll inform the higher-ups of our Shaman Temple. Deacon Sun said. He was just a minor deacon, not as wealthy as some heavenly prides, so he couldn't afford a misty fish by himself and had to inform the higher-ups of the Shaman Temple. Of course, if he facilitated this trade, his commission wouldn't be small. Thus, if the Shaman Temple traded with Yi Tian, he could benefit greatly, making him very proactive. At the Shaman Temple, Deacon Sun came before a great god-level powerhouse. This great god-level individual was one of the high-ranking officials of the Shaman Temple, responsible for trading. Although his strength wasn't very formidable among the great gods, his status was quite high. Great God Carmen, I have urgent news. Deacon Sun hurriedly said. Deacon Sun, what's the matter? The god spoke very calmly. Deacon Sun quickly explained the situation with the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws and the misty fish. Misty fish, and it's a misty fish with a high-level time talent. This deal is indeed significant, worthy of my personal involvement in the trade. Let's go, lead the way. Great God Carmen stood up and said. Yes. Deacon Sun led Great God Carmen swiftly to where Yi Tian was and introduced him. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, this is Great God Carmen from our Shaman Temple. Deacon Sun introduced. Great God Carmen, hello. I am here to trade misty fish with the Shaman Temple. I wonder if the Shaman Temple is interested, Yi Tian directly said. Of course we're interested. Great God Carmen smiled. What do you want? Star points, divine crystals, or other treasures. Our Shaman Temple has everything. As long as the price you ask for matches the value of the misty fish, we are very open to trading. A piece of purple river water, an ice crystal heart, or a dream water pearl, any of these 3 treasures can be traded for my misty fish. What do you think? Yi Tian proposed. In reality, the value of these 3 treasures was slightly higher than that of a misty fish with a high-level time talent, but not by much. He believed that if the Shaman Temple was interested, they would likely agree to the trade. Your asking price is a bit high, let me think about it. Great God Carmen pondered for a moment. Within 3 minutes, Great God Carmen nodded in agreement. All right, our Shaman Temple is willing to trade an ice crystal heart for your misty fish. How does that sound? That's acceptable, but you must ensure that this transaction remains confidential and is not known by outsiders. Yi Tian demanded. Agreed. Great God Carmen nodded in agreement. Immediately, Great God Carmen went to fetch the ice crystal heart. Soon after, Yi Tian and Great God Carmen completed the transaction, and both parties were very satisfied. Yi Tian speculated that the Shaman Temple might also possess purple river water and dream water pearls, but he didn't pursue the matter further. He planned to continue trading with other major powers, confident that he could obtain purple river water and dream water pearls elsewhere without needing to trade with the Shaman Temple again. Over the next half-month, Yi Tian approached 4 powers and traded 4 misty fish, keeping only 1. He intended to bring this last misty fish back to Silver Universe Star to give to his wife as a pet, allowing her to benefit from its time talent in her cultivation. The 4 misty fish not only enabled Yi Tian to successfully obtain a piece of purple river water and a dream water pearl, but also garnered him 30,000 divine crystals and an opportunity to modify his cosmic spaceship. The chance to modify the cosmic spaceship came from a trade with a vast technological power, which agreed to help ETN upgrade his 5-star cosmic spaceship to a 6-star personal model. This meant that ETN could traverse a galaxy in just one day aboard his cosmic spaceship, making it much easier to return to the Milky Way without needing to take specific flights. Of course, the modification of the 5-star cosmic spaceship would take 3 months, so ETN couldn't leave the MoMA galaxy during this time. Having gathered all 6 materials required for the water-sinking realm, ETN now met the qualifications to cultivate it. Thus, he planned to use this time to diligently cultivate the water-sinking realm. Days passed. ETN refined a piece of purple river water, 9 layers of weak water, 9 layers of heavy water, a dream water pearl, an ice crystal heart, and half a pound of frost dew into his body in a specific order. This process formed the divine ability patterns of the water-sinking realm on his skin, gradually solidifying into divine ability marks. After 2 months, ETN finally condensed the divine ability mark of the water-sinking realm. In a space filled with meteorites, ETN prepared to test the power of the water-sinking realm divine ability. Although the water-sinking realm was a water-based divine ability, it didn't require physical water. It only needed the water element laws, which were one of the omnipresent fundamental laws of the universe, allowing the water-sinking realm divine ability to be used anywhere. Water-sinking realm. A barrier world enveloped by a curtain of water appeared, covering the area. With a single thought, terrifying power manifested within the water-sinking realm. Boom! Numerous meteorites were pulverized, a force akin to water pressure, but far more terrifying, capable of instantly crushing weaker heavenly prides within ETN's water-sinking realm divine ability to dust. What a powerful divine ability! This ability isn't about the strength of its attack, but about suppressing the opponent. If combined with the space talent's spatial confinement, it can become even more terrifying. ETN exclaimed excitedly. Moreover, after mastering the water-sinking realm divine ability, ETN felt a significant improvement in his strength, reaching the level of an upper 8-star peerless heavenly pride. With a bit more progress, he could reach the combat power of a top-tier 8-star peerless heavenly pride. Now, if I were to face a weaker 8-star peerless heavenly pride, I could severely injure them with a single strike. ETN thought confidently. With 1 month left before he could retrieve his 6-star cosmic spaceship, ETN used this time to deeply comprehend the Sword Dao. Now, with the ability to activate a 20-fold time acceleration and the assistance of the ancient sword steel, his speed of comprehending the Sword Dao realm was incredibly fast. A month passed. My Sword Dao realm is 63% complete. As soon as my Sword Dao realm reaches 65%, I'll be able to fully master the Void God Sword technique, and my strength should be sufficient to step into the combat power of a top-tier 8-star peerless heavenly pride. ETN envisioned. It's time to retrieve the 6-star cosmic spaceship. ETN set off towards the Moong Technology Group, which was assisting him with the spaceship modification. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 409, 6-star cosmic spaceship, Return to Earth. TL. Etude. Moong Technology Group was the largest tech conglomerate in the MoMA galaxy, capable of producing both 6-star and 5-star cosmic spaceships. Many galaxies purchased their spaceships from MoMA Technology Group. For instance, the Andromeda Galaxy could only produce 5-star cosmic spaceships and lacked the capability to produce 6-star ones. Most of their 6-star spaceships were also purchased from the MoMA Galaxy. On Moong Star, ETN arrived and met with a manager from Moong Technology Group. This manager, named Lin Chen, was the same one ETN had dealt with in their previous transaction. Manager Lin, is my spaceship modification complete? ETN inquired. It's all set. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, I'll show you around. Manager Lin responded. Great. ETN followed Manager Lin to a cosmic spaceship construction base of Moong Technology Group. There, he saw his spaceship. Its system remained largely unchanged, with modifications only to the material, certain functionalities, and the energy unit. Unlike other spaceships, a 6-star cosmic spaceship utilizes stellar energy, incorporating a miniature stellar core as its energy unit. Such a device could last for tens of thousands of years without issues. However, after that period, it would require a new energy unit. This limitation arises from the current technological constraints. Even a stellar core was not eternal. By extracting and converting a stellar core into an energy device, its perpetual endurance could not be guaranteed. This was akin to a battery, where a battery's lifespan diminished with use and eventually required replacement. ETN boarded his spaceship and found its interior completely revamped. He checked the spaceship's functionalities, which were significantly more advanced than before. Excellent, Manager Lin. I am very satisfied. It's been a pleasure doing business with you, Yi Tian expressed with a smile. The pleasure is all mine, Manager Lin replied politely. Subsequently, Yi Tian left Moang Star and departed the Moma Galaxy aboard his 6-star cosmic spaceship. He planned to make a trip back to the Milky Way. With the speed of a 6-star cosmic spaceship, the journey back to the Milky Way would only take about a dozen days, so it wouldn't cause much delay. A dozen days later, Yi Tian returned to the Milky Way, Silver Universe star. Husband, you're back, Empress Yu exclaimed with excitement upon seeing Yi Tian. The two embraced each other tightly for a long time. Yuer, has anything happened recently? Yi Tian asked with concern. Nothing much, but let me share some good news with you. I've become a heavenly pride. Empress Yu immediately shared her achievement with Yi Tian. My Yuer is truly remarkable, Yi Tian praised. Then, he took out a misty fish, which he had hypnotized so it wouldn't attack him or Empress Yu. Yuer, this is a misty fish with a high-level time talent. I am giving it to you as a pet. With it, you can utilize a 10-fold time acceleration for your cultivation. Yi Tian pointed out. This fish has a high-level time talent. Empress Yu was astonished. Time talents were exceedingly rare, especially high-level ones. Although the Saintess of the Moon God sect also had a beast with a time talent, its talent was inferior compared to this misty fish. Thank you, husband. Empress Yu gratefully accepted the misty fish. In his heart, Yi Tian had considered seizing the time talent from the misty fish and bestowing it upon Empress Yu. However, he decided against it. Since the misty fish was a demigod-level creature, far stronger than Empress Yu, it could serve as a formidable protector for her. Moreover, without the restrictions of the water-cleansing realm, it had the potential to advance to a god-level being. Thus, once it fully accepted Empress Yu as its master, she would essentially possess a god-level misty fish with a high-level time talent, akin to having a powerful bodyguard. Therefore, Yi Tian chose not to seize the misty fish's time talent. Even if he wanted to, it would be challenging due to the fish's strong soul. Once this misty fish's potential is fully realized, cultivating to the peak of god level, he'll consider seizing its time talent and giving it to you or then. Yi Tian made such a plan. Husband, what are your plans next? Empress Yu suddenly asked. Yi Tian pondered for a moment and said, I'll make a trip to the solar system to check on the development of the Tian Pavilion and then go into seclusion to cultivate for a period. Yi Tian wanted to perfect his void god sword technique and comprehend the mysteries of time. These were his next objectives. That's good. Empress Yu sighed in relief, genuinely worried that Yi Tian might leave immediately, unsure of when they would meet again. Let's go to the solar system together. Yi Tian took Empress Yu's hand, left Silver Universe Star, and then summoned his 6-star cosmic spaceship in the starry sky. Husband, did you change your spaceship? Empress Yu, noticing the difference in Yi Tian's spaceship, curiously asked. It hasn't been replaced, just modified. It's now a 6-star cosmic spaceship. It can traverse a galaxy in just a day, which is very fast. Yi Tian explained. A 6-star cosmic spaceship. Empress Yu was quite astonished. In the Milky Way, even 5-star cosmic spaceships were extremely valuable. 6-star cosmic spaceships were beyond the reach of even the spaceship transportation companies and tech groups. Probably only the powerful great god-level beings had the chance to possess 6-star cosmic spaceships. Whoosh! The 6-star cosmic spaceship activated and reached the solar system in less than a minute. The solar system, Earth. Yi Tian returned hand in hand with Empress Yu. At this time, Earth was thriving. Humanity had gained full control over Earth, and ferocious beasts were domesticated. Additionally, many Emperor-level beings had ventured beyond Earth, and a few had even reached the god level. Yes, Earth now had god-level beings. Those Emperor-level beings without ambition or potential to reach the heavenly pride level couldn't resist the urge to break through to the god level, especially a few Emperor-level beings with Morning Star-level cultivation talents. One of them was Ling Fei from the Hall of Glory, who had now become God Ling Fei. When Yi Tian arrived at the Zonghai Super Base, the Emperor-level beings of the Tian Pavilion came to meet him, and many emperors from China also came to pay their respects. Outside the Tian Pavilion, hundreds of Emperor-level beings bowed and said, "Greetings to the Pavilion Master." Although Yi Tian was not present in the Tian Pavilion, he remained its master, with his sister Yi Yu serving as the deputy master. "Brother, you're back." Yi Yu came out of her seclusion, visibly excited. By now, Yi Yu had made significant progress, especially since Yi Tian had returned to Earth specifically to give her body cultivation techniques, Yuan force defense techniques, and various resources which accelerated her cultivation. Currently, Yi Yu possessed the strength of an 8-star emperor. Little Yu Bei made good progress. Let's go inside and talk, Yi Tian said with a smile. Just then, a powerful presence approached. Boom! A surge of divine power filled the void, signaling the arrival of a god-level being. Greetings to God Ling Fei, many emperors respectfully said. God Ling Fei ignored these emperors and approached Yi Tian, bowing, greetings to the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws. God Ling Fei, you're at the god level, no need for formalities. I have other matters to attend to, we'll talk another time. Yi Tian spoke indifferently. Yes, God Ling Fei bowed his head in silence. Then, Yi Tian, Yi Yu, and the others entered the Tian pavilion, followed by the pavilion's emperor-level beings. However, many emperors from other forces remained outside, puzzled. One emperor stepped forward and asked, Lord God Ling Fei, you are one of the few god-level beings on Earth, yet you show such respect to the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, who is still at the emperor level. Why is that? Boom! God Ling Fei glared, unleashing divine power that severely injured the questioning emperor. HMPH, what do you know? The heavenly pride of 10,000 laws is not someone I can compare with. You probably haven't been to the bustling areas of the Milky Way. If you had, you'd understand the terror of the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws. Not just me, but even if all the god-level beings on Earth joined forces, they wouldn't match up to him. God Ling Fei said, then left. How is that possible? The injured emperor's pupils contracted. He had thought that God Ling Fei and the other god-level beings had surpassed Yi Tian in status and strength after ascending to the god level. Yet God Ling Fei claimed that Yi Tian far exceeded them, even at the god level. Chapter 410. Target, the Mira Sutra. TL. Etude. God Ling Fei had left, but the other emperors did not depart. At this time, a 7-star emperor spoke in a low voice, Emperor Chen Hai, do you know why God Ling Fei said he was far inferior to the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws? Emperor Chen Hai, the one who had questioned God Ling Fei earlier, was still puzzled. Why, could it be that a heavenly pride is even stronger than a god? The 7-star emperor explained, your strength is still weak, having never left Earth, and you are completely unaware of the strength divisions beyond our world. The power of a heavenly pride not only far surpasses that of an emperor level but also holds a special status. It is said that even those terrifying existences above the god level dare not offend a heavenly pride. If a being above god level dares to kill a heavenly pride, even if they belong to a massive force with a vast number of god level powerhouses, they would be erased. Moreover, heavenly prides are divided into different tiers, such as 1-star heavenly prides, 2-star heavenly prides, 3-star heavenly prides, and so on. 1-star to 5-star heavenly prides are considered to have sovereign emperor level combat strength. 6-star and above are supreme emperors. A 6-star peerless heavenly pride could even be comparable to a god-level powerhouse who has ascended from the 9-star emperor level. Lord God Ling Fei was previously at the 9-star emperor level, and he has only recently broken through to the god level. His strength was equivalent to that of a 6-star peerless heavenly pride, and even far inferior to a 7-star peerless heavenly pride. And Lord Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws is an 8-star peerless heavenly pride, the number 1 heavenly pride of the Milky Way galaxy. It is said that many heavenly prides have fallen at his hands, and he has even slain a 7-star peerless heavenly pride. An 8-star peerless heavenly pride. Emperor Chen Hai truly realized the strength and terror of Yi Tian. In other words, in a confrontation between the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws and God Ling Fei, the former could instantly annihilate God Ling Fei. The two were nearly not on the same level of combat strength. Instantly, his reverence for the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws deepened. Yi Tian did not pay attention to the discussions about him. At this moment, he briefly inquired about the development of the heavenly pavilion and then handed over some cultivation resources to Yi Yu. This time, Yi Tian stayed on Earth for just a few days before returning to Silver Universe Star. Upon his return, Yi Tian and Empress Yu began their secluded cultivation. This time, Yi Tian devoted himself to comprehending the Sword Dao and the mysteries of time. Although he possessed a time-wondrous object, the mysteries of time were even more difficult to comprehend than those of space, and it would take some time to grasp them. With a 20-fold acceleration of time, Yi Tian spent a month in the real world. With the help of top-tier innate talent and the ancient sword steel, he advanced his comprehension of the Sword Dao to 64%. After another month and a half, he finally elevated his comprehension of the Sword Dao to 65%. Reaching 65% in the Sword Dao meant he could elevate ordinary super god level sword techniques to the major realm and could perfect the Phantom God Sword technique, a super god level sword technique involving space, to the perfected realm. As for the mysteries of time, he spent some time on it and seemed to be on the verge of a breakthrough. Thus, in the following days, Yi Tian alternated between comprehending the mysteries of time and cultivating the Phantom God Sword technique. 3 months passed in this manner. The Phantom God Sword technique had already reached the perfected realm, elevating Yi Tian's strength to the top-tier 8-star peerless heavenly pride level, and he was close to comprehending the mysteries of time. One day, as usual, Yi Tian sat beside the time-wondrous object, delving into the mysteries of time. Suddenly, buzz, a peculiar fluctuation emanated from him, and he grasped the essence of time. He had successfully comprehended a trace of the mysteries of time. This trace opened the door to time for Yi Tian, allowing him to grasp a sliver of its rules. With the aid of the time-wondrous object, Yi Tian's comprehension of time accelerated. 1 trace, 2 traces, 3 traces. He quickly reached 10% in the realm of the mysteries of time. Time mysteries. Pseudo-mystic 10%. Yi Tian, looking at his now fully transformed and upgraded time talent to the pseudo-mystic level, couldn't help but burst into laughter with excitement. With the transformation of the time talent, its power surged. His abilities to accelerate and decelerate time could be amplified to 30-fold, and the blade of time could strip away 300 years of a person's lifespan. With the transformation of my time talent and the perfection of the Phantom God Sword technique, my current strength is enough to rank among the very top of the 8-star peerless heavenly prides, second only to the 9-star peerless heavenly prides. Yi Tian declared confidently. He had never encountered a 9-star peerless heavenly pride, nor did he know how powerful a 9-star peerless heavenly pride truly was. However, he felt that even if he were to face a slightly weaker 9-star peerless heavenly pride, he would still have the capability to save his own life. Yi Tian had emerged from seclusion. It would be difficult for him to make further progress in a short period of time. Even if he were to comprehend the Sword Dao to a higher level, he wouldn't be able to enhance his strength because the strongest sword technique he possessed was only at the super god level. As for techniques above the super god level, he didn't have any, and neither did the Heavenly Pride Pavilion. He even doubted that the Milky Way galaxy possessed any sword techniques surpassing the super god level. Therefore, staying in the Milky Way galaxy, or even in the MoMA galaxy, wouldn't significantly boost his strength. Should I go to the Hengpan galaxy system? Yi Tian hesitated. The Hengpan galaxy system was the center of the Pan-star field, the most prosperous area in the entire Pan-star field in terms of martial arts development. It was also the galaxy system with the densest yuan qi, the richest resources, and the most powerhouses. It could even be said that the most powerful hegemonic forces of the Pan-star field were located in the Hengpan galaxy system. The Heavenly Pride battle was organized by several hegemonic forces from the Hengpan galaxy system, and the ultimate destination for Heavenly Prides aspiring to become children of the universe was also the Hengpan galaxy system. Although Yi Tian was very confident in his talent, he wasn't entirely sure he could become a child of the universe if he just continued to cultivate in seclusion. Therefore, he must make a trip to the Hengpan galaxy system. If he entered the Hengpan galaxy system, he might be able to replicate more exceptional talents. But entering the Hengpan galaxy system now was not the best timing. His foundation was still insufficient. The Hengpan galaxy system surely had many 8-star peerless heavenly prides, and even more than 1 or 2 9-star peerless heavenly prides. How could he compete with 9-star peerless heavenly prides for opportunities? Perhaps those 9-star peerless heavenly prides, in order to eliminate threats, would massacre those 8-star peerless heavenly prides without backing, and he would definitely be one of their targets. Thus, he wanted to accumulate some foundation before heading to the Hengpan galaxy system. After much contemplation, Yi Tian finally made a decision. Go to the Andromeda galaxy. Yi Tian asserted. There were no 8-star peerless heavenly prides in the Andromeda galaxy, and he had been there before, even sweeping through the Andromeda galaxy. It was difficult for the Andromeda galaxy to enhance his strength, but there was another opportunity in the Andromeda galaxy. The Mira Sutra. The Mira Sutra had previously emerged in the Andromeda galaxy, followed by a great battle in the Andromeda galaxy involving many god-level and true god beings. However, beings at the great god level and above did not care about a 9-star wondrous object and thus did not participate in the battle. In the end, the Mira Sutra was divided into many parts, and a portion was brought into the Milky Way galaxy. Yi Tian always felt that the Mira Sutra contained a secret, and he had already collected 3 pages of the Mira Sutra. According to his understanding, the Mira Sutra had a total of 18 pages. Most of the Mira Sutra was in the Andromeda Galaxy. If he could collect the entire Mira Sutra, he might uncover its secrets, which could greatly aid his strength. The core of the Mira Sutra should be the Zumi storage realm. Now that I have the Zumi storage realm in my hands, others who have obtained other pages of the Mira Sutra won't find much use for them, and many probably don't have much expectation for the Mira Sutra anymore. If I wanted to collect the Mira Sutra, many would probably be willing to trade with me. Yi Tian speculated. Having made his decision, Yi Tian resolved to go to the Andromeda Galaxy. However, before heading to the Andromeda Galaxy, Yi Tian saw that the cooldown period for his talent copying ability, seizure and bestowal, had ended. He then stripped the god-level strength talent from the Bloodhand Heavenly Pride and bestowed it upon Empress Yu, granting her the god-level strength talent. Afterward, he left Silver Universe Star and, aboard a 6-star level cosmic spaceship, arrived at the Andromeda Galaxy the next day. Upon arrival, he met again with the Heavenly Pride Hong Yong and the Heavenly Pride Lai Jun at Shanchang Star. The return visit of Yi Tian surprised both Heavenly Pride Hong Yong and Heavenly Pride Lai Jun. Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, I didn't expect that we would meet again just a year later. Heavenly Pride Lai Jun was quite astonished. Logically, an 8-star peerless Heavenly Pride like Yi Tian shouldn't be visiting a minor galaxy like the Andromeda Galaxy. Instead, he should be in the Moma Galaxy or even stronger galaxy systems, competing with other 8-star peerless Heavenly Prides to make a name for himself in the Pan-star field. Chapter 411, Collecting the Mira Sutras. TL. Etude. Heavenly Pride Lai Jun, Heavenly Pride Hong Yong, I am actually here this time because I have a favor to ask of you, Yi Tian stated straightforwardly without beating around the bush. What do you need our help with? The two responded, not immediately agreeing to help. Given that their relationship with Yi Tian was merely that of ordinary friends, they naturally wouldn't agree to just anything. If it were a minor matter, they wouldn't mind agreeing, but if it involved risking their lives or endangering their respective forces, they would definitely refuse. I want to collect the Mira Sutra pages and am willing to trade using divine crystals and secret techniques for physical body cultivation. Yi Tian revealed his purpose. You're willing to trade secret techniques for physical body cultivation. Heavenly Pride Lai Jun and Heavenly Pride Hong Yong were astounded. Secret techniques for physical body cultivation were incredibly precious, with only a handful of top forces in the Andromeda Galaxy possessing 1 or 2 such techniques, and most forces lacked them entirely. Moreover, these top forces tightly controlled their secret techniques for physical body cultivation, almost never trading them. Only Heavenly Prides like Yi Tian, who happened upon such techniques by chance, wouldn't mind them, but how many Heavenly Prides could obtain several secret techniques for physical body cultivation like Yi Tian? Yes, I am willing to trade secret techniques for physical body cultivation for the Mira Sutras. Could you help me spread this message? Yi Tian inquired. No problem, it's just a small matter. Heavenly Pride Lai Jun immediately promised. At that moment, Heavenly Pride Hong Yong said, Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, I've heard of the Mira Sutras. When the 9-star wondrous object, the Mira Sutra, first appeared, it indeed caused a huge fight, even shattering a planetary system. However, people later found that the requirements for cultivating the Mira Sutra were too stringent, making cultivation almost impossible. Over time, few paid attention to the Mira Sutra. Moreover, you're already an 8-star peerless Heavenly Pride. Why do you want to collect the Mira Sutra? I have my reasons. Just help me spread the word. If you do me this favor, you can come to me if you ever encounter trouble in the future, Yi Tian promised. All right, the two were very excited. A promise from an 8-star peerless Heavenly Pride was no small matter, something ordinary people could hardly receive, especially since all they had to do was spread a message. So, Heavenly Pride Lai Jun and Heavenly Pride Hong Yong went to spread the word for Yi Tian, not just in the Andromeda Galaxy but also leveraging their forces to spread the news to several nearby galaxies. If individuals from other galaxies also obtained pages of the Mira Sutra, they might come to the Andromeda Galaxy's Shanchang Star upon hearing the news. After spreading the message, Yi Tian waited in a luxurious tavern in Shanchang City, the largest main city on Shanchang Star. On the 3rd day, a true god named Absolute Hand True God found Yi Tian. This true god wasn't particularly strong among true gods but wasn't the weakest either, belonging to the middle tier. Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, is it true that the Mira Sutras can be exchanged for secret techniques for physical body cultivation? Absolute Hand True God asked upon seeing Yi Tian. Yes, how many pages of the Mira Sutras do you have? Yi Tian inquired. Only 1 page. Absolute Hand True God was somewhat nervous. Can 1 page of the Mira Sutras be exchanged for a secret technique for physical body cultivation? Add 100 divine crystals, and it'll give you a secret technique for physical body cultivation. You may teach it to others, but you cannot trade it. After signing a contract, we can proceed with the trade, Yi Tian pondered and then said. Agreed. Absolute Hand True God found the trade quite fair, even advantageous. After all, he had possessed this page of the Mira Sutras for many years, but its content was utterly useless to him. To him, the Mira Sutras were just an object, nowhere near as precious as a secret technique for physical body cultivation. Besides, a mere 100 divine crystals were nothing to a true god like him, he didn't care at all. Soon, they signed an agreement and commenced the trade. Yi Tian traded the Flaming God Physique technique, which had been auctioned in the Milky Way galaxy before. Since he still owned the rights to this secret technique for physical body cultivation, he could trade it again. After completing the trade, Absolute Hand True God departed. At this moment, Yi Tian took a closer look at the Mira Sutra he had just traded for. Zumi Escape Technique. After carefully studying the Zumi Escape Technique, Yi Tian found this secret technique to be incredibly heaven-defying. Not only did the Zumi Escape Technique require the Zumi Storage Realm, but it also the ability to phase into space. The Zumi Escape Technique was a combination of the Zumi Storage Realm and the ability to phase into space, creating an astonishing escape technique. Once the Zumi Escape Technique was mastered, one could quickly escape. A heavenly pride could instantly escape a planetary system, even surpassing the capabilities of a cosmic spaceship. Regardless of the level of the cosmic spaceship, it needed preparation time to perform a spatial jump. However, the Zumi Escape Technique didn't require preparation time. It could be activated instantly, phasing from the depths of space, making it very difficult to interrupt. Unless the enemy was much stronger than Yi Tian, freezing the space and preventing the activation of the Zumi Escape Technique. But for an enemy to prevent Yi Tian from activating the Zumi Escape Technique, their strength must far exceed his own or possess a special divine artifact. In any case, once the Zumi Escape Technique was mastered, the ability to preserve one's life greatly increased. What a gain! I didn't expect to encounter such an incredible secret technique. Absolute Hand True God couldn't cultivate it, which is why he traded it with me. However, Absolute Hand True God could remember the content of the Zumi Escape Technique and trade it with others, which is why he was willing to trade the original with me. Yi Tian thought to himself. Both he and Absolute Hand True God benefited from the trade, a win-win situation. But the bigger winner was Yi Tian. In the following days, Yi Tian began to study and cultivate the Zumi Escape Technique. A few days later, another god-level powerhouse came to trade with Yi Tian. This time, Yi Tian obtained another page of the Mira Sutra. This page of the Mira Sutra recorded the Zumi Imperial Body, a defensive secret technique that could withstand external attacks. It also required the Zumi Storage Realm, constructing the Zumi Storage Realm around the body to form a perfect cycle. Thus, one could execute the Zumi Imperial Body, forming a defensive barrier on the body's surface, capable of blocking some fatal attacks. However, the recorded Zumi Imperial Body was only the second level, lacking the first level, which was clearly in other pages of the Mira Sutras. In the blink of an eye, 5 months passed. During these 5 months, Yi Tian met many gods and true gods, trading for a total of 11 pages of the Mira Sutras. Together with the 3 pages he had before, he now had 14 pages of the Mira Sutras, leaving only 2 pages unaccounted for. Of course, during these 5 months, he also encountered gods with fake Mira Sutras, which he immediately exposed. Additionally, in 5 months, Yi Tian mastered the Zumi Escape Technique and obtained the content of the Zumi Imperial Body from the 1st to the 6th levels, mastering the 2nd level of the Zumi Imperial Body. Besides, Yi Tian also acquired secret techniques like the Zumi Dust Realm Technique and the Zumi Invisibility Technique. Among them, the Zumi Dust Realm Technique was similar to a space imprisonment secret technique but with significant destructive power. It was similar to the Water Sinking Realm secret technique, just with different attributes, one being water and the other space. The Zumi Invisibility Technique was like spatial phasing but invisible. The Zumi Invisibility Technique involved phasing into a smaller space, offering better invisibility and certain defensive capabilities. Although these secret techniques were good, they were of minor use and couldn't truly transform Yi Tian's strength. However, after gathering 14 pages of the Mira Sutras, Yi Tian found that the pages began to connect, forming the Mira Sutra book, missing only 2 pages. Moreover, the Mira Sutras vibrated, corresponding to two distant directions. Yi Tian knew this meant the Mira Sutras were connecting with the other two pages, and by following this connection, he could find those two pages. Perhaps gathering the complete two pages of the Mira Sutra will reveal the true secrets of the Mira Sutra. Yi Tian thought. Thus, he followed one of the directions, activating his cosmic spaceship, and quickly flew through the cosmic starry sky. One day, Yi Tian arrived at a planet in the Andromeda Galaxy. This was just an ordinary human planet, seemingly without any strong beings. Andromeda Galaxy, Planet 4. This was the location shown on the map. Whoosh! Yi Tian flew into the planet and quickly found the location of that page of the Mira Sutra. Please leave a comment and review on novel updates. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 412, Spatial Absorption Technique. TL. Etude. Upon entering this planet, Yi Tian arrived at a mansion. The mansion was somewhat dilapidated, inhabited by a young girl. This girl was around 12 years old, and apart from her, there was signs of an elderly person who had passed away not long ago. At this moment, the girl was in tears. So, it's a young girl who has just lost a loved one, Yi Tian murmured to himself. He was accustomed to using his talent copying ability to check the talents of others, and he was somewhat surprised upon examining the girl's talents. She actually possesses a desolate tear cultivation talent. Yi Tian was aware of the rarity of a desolate tear cultivation talent, even some heavenly prides did not possess such a talent. It was nearly impossible for an ordinary planet to produce a desolate tear cultivation talent. For instance, Earth, where not even a supreme tier cultivation talent could be found, let alone a desolate tier 1. Could it be that this planet has some uniqueness? Yi Tian pondered. However, when he covered most of the planet with his talent copying ability, he did not find any other high-tier cultivation talents. Most humans on this planet lacked cultivation talents, and even a morning star tier cultivation talent was considered relatively high level here. It could be said that this young girl was an exceptional existence. Let it be, it's just a desolate tier cultivation talent after all, no need to delve deeper. Yi Tian thought. He extended his divine sense into the mansion, searching for the Mira Sutra because, according to the sensations from the Mira Sutra, one page of it was within this mansion. Yi Tian's divine sense was incredibly powerful, swiftly scanning every corner of the mansion. He quickly located the page of the Mira Sutra, which was astonishingly hidden within a stone statue. It's hidden within a stone statue, probably concealed there by an ancestor of this mansion, Yi Tian suddenly realized. The ancestor of this mansion must have been a god-level or true god-level powerhouse. This powerhouse, after obtaining a page of the Mira Sutra during a conflict, ended up on this planet for some unknown reason. After his demise, likely worried that his descendants could not protect this page of the Mira Sutra or fearing that it might bring disaster to them, he hid it within the stone statue, along with a spatial ring. The page of the Mira Sutra was inside the spatial ring. With a flick of his hand, Yi Tian entered the mansion. At that moment, the weeping girl noticed Yi Tian and immediately became very wary, saying, "Who are you? Why are you barging into my home? I don't have any money." She was visibly frightened, mistaking Yi Tian for a robber. "Little girl, don't be afraid. I mean you no harm," Yi Tian explained, though such assurances did little to ease the girl's worries. Thus, without further explanation, he approached the stone statue. With a wave of his hand, the stone statue crumbled to dust, leaving only a spatial ring floating in the air. Witnessing this, the girl trembled all over. She knew the statue was incredibly sturdy. As a child, she enjoyed striking it with objects, but it remained unmarked regardless of what she used. Her grandmother had told her that the statue had been there for a very long time, left by their ancestors, and even powerful martial warriors could not damage it. Strangely, the statue was fused with the entire mansion, immovable. Yet now, Yi Tian had shattered it with a single blow. She understood the implications of Yi Tian's strength. He was far more powerful than anyone she had ever encountered. With such a person entering her home, her fear was understandable, especially since her beloved grandmother had passed away, leaving her alone. Filled with terror, the girl watched as Yi Tian took the spatial ring, initially claimed it, and then extracted the page of the Mira Sutra from within. Spatial absorption technique. Yi Tian was surprised upon reviewing the page of the Mira Sutra, as it pertained to absorbing spatial power. However, the cultivation requirements for this spatial absorption technique were extremely high, so high that even Yi Tian was unable to cultivate this spatial technique. This was because the cultivation requirement for the spatial absorption technique was a mystic tier space talent. Yi Tian's current spatial talent was still some distance from the mystic tier, naturally rendering him unable to cultivate the spatial absorption technique. Additionally, although this page recorded spatial techniques, it did not explain the use of the spatial absorption technique. Perhaps the content describing the use of the spatial absorption technique is on the last page of the Mira Sutra. Yi Tian speculated. Regardless, this page on the spatial absorption technique must be extremely precious, especially since its cultivation requirement demands a mystic tier spatial talent. I've hit the jackpot, Yi Tian thought to himself. At this moment, he truly felt that the Mira Sutra was no ordinary wondrous object and that it must contain significant secrets. And now, he was only one page away from uncovering the entire secret. This thought excited Yi Tian. Suddenly, he remembered the young girl beside him. Clearly, this young girl must be a descendant of that powerful individual. Although he did not know how many generations had passed, the girl surely inherited the talent of that powerful ancestor. The stronger the ancestors, the higher the cultivation talent of their descendants. This young girl was fortunate to be born with a desolate tier cultivation talent, but her luck was also quite unfortunate. All her family members had died, even her last relative, and given her age, she might not survive on this planet until the day she could rise. At this moment, Yi Tian could simply ignore the young girl and leave the planet. However, he always believed in fair exchange. Strictly speaking, this page of the Mira Sutra belonged to the young girl. Taking something of hers and just leaving would somewhat violate the principles of fair exchange. Your name is Li Xintong, right? Yi Tian learned the girl's name through his talent copying ability and thus addressed her. Yes, the young girl replied in a very soft voice, almost as faint as a mosquito's hum. However, Yi Tian heard her quite clearly. I'll call you Tong Tong. This spatial ring was placed in the stone statue by your ancestors. I only need the Mira Sutra inside this spatial ring. The rest of the items will be left for you. Moreover, I can offer you some benefits, which will be our deal. No matter whether you understand or not, I am now giving you two choices. The first choice is that I will give you a vast amount of wealth, providing you with enough resources to cultivate. However, on this planet, it's easy for someone alone like you to have their resources stolen or even be killed by others. The second option is I will take you away from this planet and send you to a planet with a very orderly legal system. You will become a resident of that planet, where you will almost have no safety concerns. However, in that case, I cannot provide you with too many resources. Now, tell me your choice. Yi Tian's words left the girl named Li Xintong somewhat baffled. She did not understand much of what he said, but she roughly grasped Yi Tian's meaning. Yi Tian would take something left by her ancestors and then give her many good things as compensation but would not ensure her safety. She could also follow Yi Tian to another place, a safer location, but Yi Tian would not provide her with many benefits. My grandmother has passed away, and many bad people are eyeing this mansion. Even if this big brother gives me a lot of wealth, I probably won't be able to protect it, Li Xintong thought to herself. Although only 12 years old, Li Xintong was not foolish and knew how to choose. She was not afraid that Yi Tian would deceive her, as such a powerful martial warrior had no need to lie to her. Moreover, the item left by her ancestors was already in Yi Tian's possession. To deceive her further would be superfluous. Therefore, Li Xintong softly said, "Big brother, I am willing to follow you and leave." Very well, your choice is very wise. In the future, you will be grateful for your decision today. Yi Tian said with a smile. In his view, Li Xintong's decision to leave with him could lead to her rise in the future, possibly even becoming a powerful great god-level warrior in the Andromeda Galaxy. Subsequently, Yi Tian helped Li Xintong bury her grandmother and then took her aboard a cosmic spaceship, leaving the planet. Please leave a comment and review on novel updates. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 413, Elder Yun, the last page of the Mira Sutra. TL. Etude, the Andromeda Galaxy, on the planet Milan. Milan was a technologically advanced planet and the capital of the Milan Empire. The Milan Empire was a vast empire within the Andromeda Galaxy, occupying many planetary systems. Its legal system was very well established, and even true god-level powerhouses respected the Milan Empire, making its capital extremely safe. Once one becomes a resident of the Milan Empire, as long as they did not commit crimes, their safety was almost guaranteed. Therefore, Yi Tian brought Li Xintong to Milan, planning to make her a citizen of the Milan Empire. Soon, their spaceship arrived at the spaceport of Milan. Upon standing at the spaceport, Li Xintong was astonished by the sheer number of spaceships, shattering her understanding and imagination. Coming from an ordinary planet, it was like an ancient person suddenly arriving in the modern world, where everything seemed marvelously strange. Yi Tian did not explain much to Li Xintong, the young girl. He was only responsible for delivering her to the Milan Empire. In Milan City, the capital city of the Milan Empire, Yi Tian announced his identity. Quickly, a god-level powerhouse personally came to meet Yi Tian. This god-level powerhouse was a general of the Milan Empire, known as the Blood-Weeping General. "Greetings, heavenly pride of 10,000 laws." The Blood-Weeping General spoke with great reverence. "Blood-Weeping General, I've come to ask a favor from the Milan Empire," Yi Tian said. "Please speak, heavenly pride of 10,000 laws." The Blood-Weeping General said somewhat nervously. He was indeed worried that Yi Tian was here to cause trouble. This was because Yi Tian, being an 8-star peerless heavenly pride, was not someone the god-level powerhouses could deal with, and no heavenly pride in the entire Andromeda galaxy could match him. If Yi Tian were to trouble the Milan Empire, they would truly be at a loss. Thus, when they learned of Yi Tian's arrival, the Emperor of the Milan Empire instructed to treat him well and send him off happily. For the Milan Empire, Yi Tian was like a major calamity, but one they dared not offend. "This girl is an ordinary resident of a small planetary system under the Milan Empire. I have a connection with her but cannot take her with me, so I plan to make her a citizen of the Milan Empire. I wonder if that's possible?" Yi Tian inquired. The Blood-Weeping General glanced at Li Xintong, scanned her with his divine sense, and realized she was just an ordinary girl who had not yet started cultivating. "It's a small matter, heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, the Milan Empire will help with this." The Blood-Weeping General immediately agreed. "Then I thank you, Blood-Weeping General," Yi Tian said, bowing. Subsequently, Yi Tian witnessed the Blood-Weeping General and officials of the Milan Empire personally processing Li Xintong's documents, officially making her a citizen of the Milan Empire. Yi Tian also purchased a property for Li Xintong and gave her the spatial ring inherited from her ancestors, helping her initially refine it. However, as Li Xintong was not a martial warrior, she would need to become one to use the spatial ring. Moreover, Yi Tian opened a bank account for Li Xintong, depositing 10 billion star points as compensation for the transaction of the Mira Sutra. After everything was settled, Yi Tian prepared to leave. "Thank you, big brother." Li Xintong expressed her gratitude as Yi Tian was about to depart. "Tong, after you turn 15, you can start cultivating. You have good talent, cultivate well, and perhaps we'll have the chance to meet again in the future," Yi Tian said, patting Li Xintong's head with a smile. Then, Yi Tian teleported away, leaving Milan. "Big brother, Tong will do her best," Li Xintong murmured to herself. For Yi Tian, helping Li Xintong was merely to clear his conscience. He did not dwell on Li Xintong's matter any longer, his attention quickly shifting to the last page of the Mira Sutra. The last page of the Mira Sutra seems to be in the direction of the Milky Way. Yi Tian noted, following the Mira Sutra's guidance to the edge of the Andromeda galaxy, facing the boundless region of spatial turbulence. Crossing this area of spatial turbulence would lead to the Milky Way. Clearly, the last page of the Mira Sutra was likely in the Milky Way. Riding a 6-star level spaceship, Yi Tian crossed the spatial turbulence between the Andromeda and Milky Way galaxies in just one day, entering the Milky Way. Following the Mira Sutra's guidance, he flew until he finally found the location of the Mira Sutra. Here as Yi Tian stood amidst the stars, looking at a fog-covered area before him. This fog enshrouded a star that was unmarked on any map. "What place is this?" Yi Tian wondered. Hesitant about this unknown territory, Yi Tian did not rashly enter. Who knew what dangers lay within? If it were a deadly trap, entering could mean certain death. First, he'll record this location, then ask others about it. Thus, Yi Tian left the area and took a spaceship back to Silver Universe Star. Afterward, Yi Tian visited the Lord of Qingfeng Giant City Great God Qin Niu. As a great god-level powerhouse, Qin Niu should know about this place. Now an 8-star peerless heavenly pride, Yi Tian's visit was naturally received by Great God Qin Niu. At the Lord's mansion, Yi Tian met Great God Qin Niu, once again. "Greetings, Great God Qin Niu." Yi Tian was very polite. "Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, there's no need for formalities. Do you have a matter to discuss with me?" Great God Qin Niu inquired. Yi Tian nodded. "Indeed, I have a matter to consult with Great God Qin Niu. I wonder if you might know about this place." Yi Tian conjured a hologram of the fog-covered star and marked its location using his illusionary talent. Upon seeing the location, Qin Niu's expression changed abruptly, and he quickly said, "Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, why are you inquiring about this place? I happened to pass by and wanted to take a look inside. Could it be that great god Qin Niu knows of this place?" Yi Tian asked, his face showing eagerness. "I do. That place belongs to a planetary-level powerhouse. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, although you are a heavenly pride, it's better not to enter and risk angering that planetary-level powerhouse. Great god Qin Niu urgently warned. "Which planetary-level powerhouse is it?" Yi Tian's interest was piqued. "It's Elder Yun. The great god-level powerhouses all refer to him as Elder Yun. As for his origins, I am not sure. I only know he wasn't originally a planetary-level powerhouse from the Milky Way, but he came here a long time ago and has lived here ever since." Great god Qin Niu explained. "It's him." Yi Tian immediately realized who Elder Yun was, as described by great god Qin Niu. Initially, when the planetary birth opportunity arose, an Elder Yun, who surpassed the great god level, appeared. This Elder Yun must be the planetary-level powerhouse mentioned by great god Qin Niu. "Thank you, great god Qin Niu, for resolving my doubts." Yi Tian took his leave. After departing from the Lord's mansion, Yi Tian pondered deeply. Obtaining the last page of the Mira Sutra wouldn't be easy. If it were a true god-level powerhouse, he might be able to trade, but trading with a planetary-level powerhouse would be impossible since he had nothing of equal value to offer. Would a planetary-level powerhouse lack physical cultivation techniques? Certainly not. And even if they needed divine crystals, they would require a massive amount, far beyond what he possessed. In short, aside from the time artifact, nothing he had would be of interest to them. Trading for the last page of the Mira Sutra from a planetary-level powerhouse would be incredibly difficult. However, that page of the Mira Sutra might just be a minor collection to that planetary-level powerhouse, possibly overlooked by them. Maybe I could acquire it. I should pay a visit first. After thinking it through, Yi Tian once again approached the star where Elder Yun resided in his spaceship. "Junior Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, I've come to visit Elder Yun." Yi Tian stood outside the fog, bowing in greeting. After waiting a few minutes, an opening appeared in the fog. A woman emerged from within. This woman was Yun Shi, the young girl who had accompanied Elder Yun previously. Initially, Yun Shi had just entered the Emperor level, and in the few years since, she had already broken through her 15th physical limit, showing her talent as a heavenly pride. "Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, it's you. Are you here to see my ancestor?" Yun Shi recognized Yi Tian and asked. "Yes." Yi Tian nodded. Yun Shi revealed a sly smile and quickly said, "You can meet my ancestor if you want, but if you give me something nice, I'll take you to him." "What would you like?" Yi Tian felt that if he could handle the clever and quirky Yun Shi, he might be able to accomplish his task. Please leave a comment and review on novel updates. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 414, Deal with Elder Yun. TL. Etude. Give me 100 pounds of the 9 Heavens Immortal Brew. And 100 pounds of the monkey wine aged for 100,000 years. Or, a pot of eternal dream wine would also do. Do you have these things? Yun Shi listed 3 items and asked. Yi Tian's eyes widened slightly, and he wanted to say, "Are you a drunkard?" However, to not ruin this opportunity, he held back from saying it. The 3 things mentioned by Yun Shi were likely 3 kinds of rare and exquisite wines. Yi Tian had never heard of them before, but he could imagine that these 3 types of wine must be extremely precious. For instance, the monkey wine aged for 100,000 years, just the age alone spoke volumes of its value. "I don't have any of these 3 things," Yi Tian honestly replied. "Then I won't help you," Yun Shi pouted. Yi Tian was about to leave to see if he could acquire these 3 items. But at that moment, an aged voice came through. "Little Shi, stop being naughty. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, please come in." Yi Tian knew without guessing that the voice belonged to Elder Yun, the planetary-level powerhouse. "Elder Ancestor has invited you in. Follow me," Yun Shi said reluctantly. She had hoped to gain some benefits from Yi Tian, but to her surprise, her ancestor had invited Yi Tian in. Her plan had fallen through. Yi Tian followed Yun Shi into the mist, where it automatically parted to form a path. "Be careful and follow me. Do not touch this mist. It has the power to bewilder the soul, and even a true god cannot withstand it," Yun Shi warned. "Even true gods can be bewildered." Yi Tian was quite surprised. Had he trespassed here earlier, he probably would have lost his way in this mist. Soon, Yi Tian passed through the mist and arrived on the star. There were many people on this star, including numerous god-level powerhouses. The humans on this star are all members of our Yun family. Normally, ordinary people are not qualified to enter our Yun family. You're lucky that the elder ancestor allowed you in, Yun Shi looked at Yi Tian and said. Shortly after, Yi Tian entered a huge fortress on the star. There, he met Elder Yun. Greetings, Elder Yun. Yi Tian was very polite and respectful. After all, Elder Yun was a planetary-level powerhouse who had lived for who knows how many years. Yi Tian wouldn't dare to act arrogantly in front of such an elder, as that would be deliberately offensive. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, it's surprising that you, who were once a normal heavenly pride, have stepped into the realm of an 8 peerless heavenly pride in such a short time. Your talent is truly heaven-defying, you might even have a chance to achieve greatness, Elder Yun praised highly. Elder Ancestor, can he become a child of the universe? Yun Shi was clearly skeptical. She knew very well how formidable a child of the universe had to be. Becoming one was extremely difficult. Even she, the most talented of her generation in the Yun family, was deemed by her elder ancestor as having no hope of becoming a child of the universe. Yet now, in her presence, her ancestor mentioned that Yi Tian had the potential to become a child of the universe, which naturally made her unconvinced. Elder Yun looked at Yun Shi and shook his head without explaining. Elder Yun, I have come here to trade something with you, Yi Tian said. He had sensed through the Mira Sutra in his possession that the last page of the Mira Sutra was nearby, presumably in Elder Yun's possession. Do you wish for the Mira Sutra? Elder Yun asked with a smile. Elder Yun, how did you know? Yi Tian was quite surprised. Logically, he could sense the presence of another page of the Mira Sutra through the wondrous object he had, given he had already collected 15 pages, while Elder Yun had only 1 page and should NT be able to sense the Mira Sutra on him. Yet now, Elder Yun seemed to know his purpose. Elder Yun explained, I know a bit of divination. I understood your purpose when you first came. Since Elder Yun is aware, I wonder if you would be willing to part with the Mira Sutra. I am willing to exchange it for something of equal value, Yi Tian proposed. Do you think you possess treasures that I would need? Elder Yun asked with a slight smile. This Yi Tian didn't know how to respond. Indeed, given Elder Yun's current realm and status, aside from the time-related wondrous object, there really wasn't anything else that could catch Elder Yun's eye. Just as Yi Tian was feeling disappointed, Elder Yun added, actually, I am not opposed to giving you that page of the Mira Sutra, but I have a small request. If you agree to it, I will give you the page. What's the request? Yi Tian quickly asked. Elder Yun pointed at Yun Shi. Yun Shi here is the most talented among the younger generation of our Yun family. I plan to send her to the Hengpan Galaxy, but due to some special reasons, I cannot enter the Hengpan Galaxy myself. However, a great opportunity there is very important for Yun Shi and also for our Yun family. But if Yun Shi goes to the Hengpan Galaxy, there will be dangers. Therefore, I need you to accompany Yun Shi there. Elder Yun, I am merely at the Emperor level. I doubt I can complete this task. Yi Tian was not foolish. A mere page of the Mira Sutra in exchange for putting himself in danger was not a worthwhile deal. Clearly, the Yun family had formidable enemies in the Hengpan Galaxy. Protecting Yun Shi there would be extremely dangerous. Elder Yun continued, heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, don't worry. Both you and Yun Shi are heavenly prides, and if anyone troubles you, they would be heavenly prides too. You are an 8-star peerless heavenly pride. Even in the Hengpan Galaxy, you should be able to protect Yun Shi. Moreover, Yun Zai's destination is a place of great opportunity. I will also allow you to enter, which can be considered as giving you a great opportunity. In this way, you still benefit. What kind of great opportunity? Yi Tian suddenly became interested. He was always interested in beneficial matters. A place described as a great opportunity by a planetary-level powerhouse, and situated in the Hengpan Galaxy, must be extraordinary. Otherwise, Elder Yun would not send Yun Shi there. Elder Yun was silent for a while before finally saying, well, I'll tell you. It's about the inheritance of origin artifacts. That place was once an inheritance site left by the ancestors of the Yun family in the Hengpan Galaxy. Later on, the Yun family faced a calamity and split into several branches. My branch of the Yun family is one of them, but unfortunately, it's a declining one. That inheritance site contains origin artifacts left by our ancestors, one of which is the Sword Dao origin artifact. It can rapidly enhance one's Sword Dao, and there's even a small chance to transform one's Sword Dao talent. I want Yunxi to enter there to greatly improve her sword Dao, and even try to break through the limits of her sword Dao talent. Origin artifacts, what are those? Yi Tian was very curious. Elder Yun suddenly remembered that Yi Tian was just an emperor and had never encountered origin artifacts, so he explained, origin artifacts are a level above 9-star wondrous objects, also nurtured by heaven and earth. A small place like the Milky Way cannot nurture origin artifacts. You just need to know that even planetary-level powerhouses find it difficult to obtain an origin artifact. Even the lowest level origin artifact can cause numerous planetary-level powerhouses to fight to the death. A treasure above 9-star wondrous objects. Yi Tian finally understood the preciousness of origin artifacts. The Hengpan galaxy can produce some 9-star peerless heavenly prides because those powerful hegemonic forces control origin artifacts. For example, a Sword Dao genius, with the aid of a Sword Dao origin artifact, can quickly elevate their Sword Dao realm to 50%, 60%, or even 70% in a short period of time. How can other geniuses compete with that person? Elder Yun sighed. Yi Tian nodded silently, agreeing with Elder Yun's statement. The Hengpan galaxy had resources and opportunities not found in other galaxies, which was one of the reasons other galaxies could hardly compete with it. Initially, Yi Tian wasn't interested in escorting Yunxi, but now that it involved origin artifacts, he was naturally very interested. Elder Yun, I am not a member of the Yun family. Can I still enter that inheritance site? Yi Tian asked. Of course, you can. Elder Yun nodded. If it were many years ago, you wouldn't be able to enter. But now, the Yun family has long been fragmented, and even some families pretending to be the Yun family have emerged. Therefore, the ownership of that inheritance site hasn't been truly established. Anyone with an inheritance token can enter that place, according to the rules set. As long as you have the inheritance token, it doesn't matter whether you are a member of the Yun family or not. No one delves into it. However, another branch of the Yun family is at enmity with me. If Yunxi enters the Hengpan galaxy, that branch will definitely know and will surely send heavenly prides to attack Yunxi. To my knowledge, the most powerful heavenly pride of that branch is also an 8-star peerless heavenly pride and does not have a 9-star peerless heavenly pride. In that case, Elder Yun, I am willing to accept your request and escort Yunxi to the Hengpan galaxy. Yi Tian agreed. Please leave a comment and review on novel updates. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 415, Spatial Divine Ability. Upon Yi Tian's agreement, Elder Yun took out a piece of paper, which turned out to be the last page of the Mira Sutra. Here is the page from the Mira Sutra. Take it. Elder Yun casually handed over this page of the Mira Sutra to Yi Tian. Yi Tian excitedly accepted the page and promptly stored it away. Given that he was in the Yun residence, it was not convenient for him to examine the Mira Sutra there. He planned to study the Mira Sutra in detail after leaving. Heavenly Pride of 10,000 Laws, we will set off after a year. In this year, I plan to have Yunxi cultivate diligently to enhance her strength. Moreover, the heritage site will not open until after a year, so there's no use going early. After a year, come back here, and I will give you the heritage token that grants entry to that site. Elder Yun was not worried about Yi Tian reneging on his promise. Being a powerhouse at the planetary level, and Yi Tian merely at the emperor level, even if he was a heavenly pride, it was unlikely he would never reach the god level. Thus, Elder Yun believed Yi Tian would not break his promise, as it would not be in his interest. Moreover, Elder Yun was confident that Yi Tian would not give up on such a great opportunity and would surely arrive as scheduled. Elder Yun, I will return after a year, Yi Tian promised. Soon after, Yi Tian departed. Elder Yun had a god-level powerhouse personally escort Yi Tian away from the star. Within the fortress, Yunxi asked, Grand Ancestor, do I really need to go to the ancestral heritage site? Elder Yun gravely replied, you must go. Among the younger generation of our Yun family, you have the best talent. However, you are still somewhat weaker compared to other heavenly prides of the Yun family. Only by entering the ancestral heritage site can your strength undergo a transformation. You are our Yun family's hope for rejoining the Hengpan galaxy and gaining recognition from the other branches. Yunxi fell silent. She knew that her great ancestors' greatest wish was for their branch to return to the Hengpan galaxy. However, due to certain events, their branch was forced to leave the Hengpan galaxy. They could only return if their branch produced a powerful peerless heavenly pride. For this reason, the Yun family's grand ancestor had been nurturing his descendants generation after generation. Unfortunately, all had failed so far. Some had decent talent but were killed by other heavenly prides upon entering the Hangpan galaxy. Others lacked the talent or the opportunity to meet the requirements. Now, Yunshi had emerged with promising talent and rapid progress in the Yun family. That's why Elder Yun pinned his hopes on Yunshi, hoping she could change the Yun family's fate. Great ancestor, I will surely defeat the heavenly prides of other families and secure a place for our Yun family in the Hangpan galaxy. Yunshi declared seriously, her previous playfulness replaced by solemnity and determination. After leaving the Yun family, Yi Tian quickly returned to Silver Universe Star aboard a cosmic spaceship. Upon his return, Yi Tian began to study the Mira Sutra in his cultivation chamber. His visit to the Yun family had been very smooth. Not only did he successfully obtain the Mira Sutra, but he also gained a great opportunity. Although this opportunity might bring him some trouble, gaining such fortune without any hassle was unthinkable. If attracting trouble could bring great opportunities, he would prefer to encounter troubles every day. Taking out the last page of the Mira Sutra, Yi Tian started to read it carefully. Soon, he finished reading the page, his face showing a look of astonishment. As he had guessed, this page did not contain any secret techniques but rather the purpose of the sutra itself, mentioning the use of the spatial absorption technique. The spatial absorption technique could extract the power of space with the aim of condensing a spatial divine body. Once a spatial divine body was condensed, all the secret techniques in the Mira Sutra would merge, forming the divine mark of a spatial divine ability. Spatial divine form, this was the name of this divine ability. Such a terrifying divine ability, spatial divine ability. The Mira Sutra is a wondrous object, but it's definitely man-made. The dragon race could consume the world force of a planet to nurture wondrous objects, and so could others. The Mira Sutra must have been an attempt by some great being to nurture in the distant past, and the spatial divine ability on it must be the legacy he left behind. Yi Tian speculated. Elder Yun, upon seeing this page of the Mira Sutra, must have been aware of the existence of the spatial divine form divine ability but chose not to collect the Mira Sutra. This leaves only one explanation. Elder Yun deemed the spatial divine form divine power as insignificant, essentially unattainable. Although the spatial divine form divine power only required a mystic level talent to cultivate, which was different from other talents that required God level talent. Mystic level spatial talent far surpassed God level talents of other abilities. Within the Pan-Star field, even pseudo-mystic level spatial talent was considered quite rare. Even those with pseudo-mystic level spatial talent usually only achieved between 10 to 50%, as advancing further was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. For example, Yi Tian himself, after copying the pseudo-mystic level spatial talent from other beings and experiencing the opportunity of a planet's birth, along with the help of top-tier comprehension talent, finally managed to elevate his pseudo-mystic level spatial talent to 60%. As for advancing to 70%, Yi Tian also found it exceedingly difficult and was uncertain how long it would take to achieve. It's easy to imagine, then, how difficult it would be for someone with spatial talent to elevate it to the mystic level, unless they were a heaven-defying genius born with mystic level spatial talent. But such a heaven-defying heavenly pride was probably unheard of even by Elder Yun. Even if one were to obtain the spatial divine form divine power, what use would it be besides serving as a decoration? Therefore, Elder Yun did not bother collecting the Mira Sutra. However, Yi Tian was different. With his ability to copy talents, he truly could elevate his spatial talent to the mystic level. Although I can't cultivate the spatial divine form now, if I enter the Hangpan galaxy and encounter martial warriors or creatures with pseudo-mystic level spatial talent, I can quickly elevate my spatial talent to the mystic level. Then, I will be able to cultivate the spatial divine form. Yi Tian was in high spirits. A spatial divine ability was far more valuable to him than the 5 elements divine ability. With 1 year left before heading to the Hangpan galaxy, Yi Tian's current strength had reached a bottleneck, making it difficult to continue improving. Thus, Yi Tian started working on enhancing his talents. Yi Tian's swordsmanship and palm technique talents had reached the supreme level, but his claw technique talent needed to merge with a dawn level claw technique talent to ascend to the supreme level. After inquiring around, Yi Tian finally learned of a god with dawn-level claw technique talent, approached him, and successfully copied the dawn-level claw technique talent, elevating his own claw technique talent to the supreme level. Additionally, Yi Tian spent some time elevating his swordsmanship talent to the supreme level as well. Besides these, Yi Tian also maximized many other talents. Aside from copying talents, Yi Tian's main focus was on comprehending the claw Dao and palm Dao, and occasionally the sword Dao. In this way, a year passed. During this year, he made significant progress in the Claw Dao and Palm Dao. Even his swordsmanship, which had reached 65%, advanced further to 66%. On this day, Yi Tian left Silver Universe Star and arrived at the Yun family's planet. Upon Yi Tian's arrival, a god from the Yun family came out to escort him into the Yun residence. Seeing Yun Shi again, Yi Tian noticed with his inside eye talent that she had broken through her body's limits for the 17th time. Breaking the body's limits twice in 1 year, especially the 16th and 17th times, showed the immense investment the Yun family had made in Yun Shi. Moreover, Yun Shi must have cultivated divine abilities, and perhaps even mastered super god-level sword techniques. With the entire Yun family's resources and the nurturing of a planetary-level powerhouse, Yun Shi might now be a 6-star peerless heavenly pride. Soon, Elder Yun appeared. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, you are punctual. Here are the heritage tokens, one for you and one for Yun Shi. Elder Yun took out 2 heritage tokens and handed them to Yi Tian and Yun Shi. Yi Tian accepted the token and stored it away. After giving Yun Shi a few words of advice, Elder Yun allowed Yun Shi and Yi Tian to leave. Outside the Yun family's star, Yi Tian took out a 6-star level cosmic spaceship, and the two boarded it. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, you've done well to acquire a 6-star level cosmic spaceship. With this, our journey to the Hengpan galaxy won't take long. Yun Shi exclaimed in surprise. Yun Shi, what's your current strength? I need to know your situation to protect you. Yi Tian asked. 6-star peerless heavenly pride, close to the intermediate level. What about you? Yun Shi looked towards Yi Tian. Among 8-star peerless heavenly prides, no one can kill you. Yi Tian confidently stated. Please leave a comment and review on novel updates. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 416, Arriving at the Hengpan Galaxy. Among 8-star peerless heavenly prides, none can slay me. Yun Shi was very surprised. Yi Tian's tone was perhaps a bit too grand, wasn't it? Such intense confidence was surely not a pretense, which meant in the realm of 8-star heavenly prides, he is invincible. Yun Shi speculated, she wouldn't naively believe that Yi Tian possessed the strength of a 9-star peerless heavenly pride. Therefore, a more likely scenario was that he was among the top of the 8-star peerless heavenly prides, truly invincible among them. With such a powerful expert for protection, Yun Shi felt much more at ease. The Hengpan galaxy encompasses at least tens of thousands of galaxies, but traveling in a straight line from the Milky Way to the Hengpan galaxy requires passing through only dozens of galaxies. Thus, with the speed of a 6-star level cosmic spaceship, it would take at most 2 months to reach the Hengpan galaxy. Along the way, Yi Tian, finding himself rather bored, engaged in conversation with Yun Shi. During their talks, Yi Tian inquired about the Hengpan galaxy. Yun Shi, do you know about the situation in the Hengpan galaxy? Yi Tian thought that since Yun Shi was from the Yun family, and the Yun family's ancestor was a planetary-level powerhouse, plus the fact that the Milky Way's Yun family was also a branch that originated from the Hengpan galaxy, even if they were now in decline they would still have considerable knowledge about the Hengpan galaxy, far surpassing his own. I know a bit. Yun Shi began to share what she knew. The Hengpan galaxy is vast, the largest within the Pan star field. At the center of the Hengpan galaxy lies a supermassive black hole, surrounded not by planets but by a starry continent. This continent is known as the Hengpan continent, the wealthiest region in the Hengpan galaxy, where competition is fierce. The headquarters of several dominant forces in the Hengpan galaxy are located on the Hengpan continent. These forces are true powerhouses. Even if all the branches of the Yun family were to unite, they wouldn't stand a chance against them. As Yun Shi narrated, Yi Tian learned the names of these dominant forces. The Eternal Sect, Heartless Valley, Divine Desolation Hall, and the most mysterious, the Undying Legion. The Undying Legion was a military-based force, highly cohesive, and even the other 3 dominant forces dared not oppose it. These 4 forces were the supreme rulers of the Hengpan galaxy. Below these dominant forces were numerous 9-star forces. The power structure in the Hengpan galaxy was graded by stars, similar to the Milky Way, though it was rarely mentioned. For instance, the previously mentioned Glory Pavilion was a 5-star force, just stepping out into the wider world. A force can be considered 5-star with a god-level powerhouse at the helm. If a true god-level powerhouse emerged, with over 100 god-level powerhouses, it can advance to 6-star status. With a great god-level powerhouse and at least 30 true gods, it can become a 7-star force. By extension, an 8-star force must have a planetary-level powerhouse, and a 9-star force must have a galaxy-level powerhouse. This illustrates that the four dominant forces possessed power beyond the galaxy level. Although the Yun family had a planetary-level powerhouse, Elder Yun, their number of great god-level powerhouses was scarce, not meeting the criteria for 8-star status. Thus, the Yun family was considered a pseudo-8-star force, or rather, a top-tier 7-star force. Yun Zai's knowledge was limited, only extending to some forces within the Hengpan galaxy. As for which heavenly prides were present in the Hengpan galaxy, she was unaware. But Yi Tian had a basic understanding of the situation, which was better than being completely clueless. Since Yun Shi was with him, Yi Tian couldn't conveniently use his time talent for cultivation, so there wasn't much progress on their journey to the Hengpan galaxy. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. One day, Yi Tian's cosmic spaceship passed through a spatial turbulence and arrived in the Hengpan galaxy. Upon entering the Hengpan galaxy, Yi Tian immediately sensed different celestial rules. Moreover, the density of cosmic energy in the starry sky was much richer than in other galaxies. Hengpan Galaxy, Panyan Planetary System. Panyan Star. This was the Yun family's main planet. There were many Yun families in the Hengpan Galaxy, but the Yun family of Panyan Star was basically the strongest, though there were a few other Yun family branches not far behind. Combined, these branches could easily overpower the Yun family of Panyan Star. However, the Yun family of Panyan Star often claimed to be the main lineage, regardless of whether the other branches acknowledged it or not, they were content in their self-proclaimed status. At this moment, in a grand hall within the Panyan Star Yun family, an elder suddenly opened his eyes and made a prediction. Yun Chen, that old fellow, has actually sent family members to the Hengpan Galaxy again. It seems he wishes for his descendants to enter the ancestral heritage site. HMPH, the more descendants you send, the more will perish. Your branch is doomed to a complete downfall, never to set foot in the Hengpan Galaxy again. The elder coldly stated. Someone come, the elder's voice echoed. Whoosh, a great god-level powerhouse appeared before him, respectfully saying, Elder Yun Zhen, what are your orders? Notify them that the Yun family from the Milky Way has sent another descendant to the Hengpan Galaxy. Find her and then kill her. I don't want her entering the Yun family's ancestral heritage site. Elder Yun Zhen commanded. Yes. After receiving the order, the great god-level powerhouse of the Yun family departed. Elder Yun Zhen also resumed his cultivation, putting this matter out of his mind. To him, this was but a trivial issue, merely requiring a simple command, unworthy of further attention. Yun Shi, where is your Yun family's heritage site located? Yi Tian inquired. In the Panyan planetary system. Yun Shi frowned, saying, but the Yun family on Panyan Star is the strongest among all branches. To enter the heritage site, we inevitably have to confront the heavenly prides of the Panyan Star Yun family. Most of the Panyan Star Yun family do not share our bloodline. It's said that this Yun family was originally just a servant who took a Yun family woman. Later, when the Yun family faced disaster, this servant seized the opportunity to take some of the Yun family's resources and re-establish the Yun family under his name, claiming to be the legitimate lineage, which is quite shameless. Our branch is at odds with the Panyan Star Yun family, resulting in deep conflicts and ultimately being driven away. We still have about half a year's time, we're not in a rush to enter the Panyan planetary system. Let's find a place to settle down for now. Yi Tian suggested. Okay, Yun Shi nodded. She was completely following Yi Tian's lead, as she still needed his protection before entering the Yun family's ancestral heritage site. Soon after, Yi Tian and Yun Shi arrived at the Xia planetary system in the Hengpan Galaxy. Through the map, Yi Tian knew this star system was relatively ordinary in the Hengpan Galaxy, but it was home to a planetary-level powerhouse, the master of the Xia planetary system, Lord Yaber. Many planetary-level powerhouses like to use the title Lord, such as the previously mentioned unparalleled Lord and now Lord Yaber. Of course, what title one uses was a personal choice, as long as others recognized it. Some people weren't too concerned about titles, like Elder Yun. The Xia planetary system was vast, with dozens of life-bearing planets, with the largest undoubtedly being Yaber Star, which was Lord Yaber's territory. Yi Tian and Yun Shi decided to stay on Yaber Star for a while. However, just a few days after Yi Tian and Yun Shi settled on Yaber Star, a heavenly pride arrived at their residence. Those inside, come out. I wish to challenge you. A voice filled with hostility entered the villa where Yi Tian was temporarily residing. This was the capital city of Yaber Star, surrounded by many god-level and above powerhouses. Thus, when a heavenly pride issued a challenge, many god-level and above powerhouses turned their attention to it. Inside the villa, Yun Zai's expression changed. Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws, someone has come to challenge us. We haven't revealed our identities, the Heavenly Prides of the Hengpan Galaxy should be targeting us. Could it be? It must be the Yun family. It seems they already know you've come to the Hengpan Galaxy. Yi Tian said gravely. Since they had been discovered, there was no need for Yi Tian and Yun Shi to hide any longer. The two stepped out of the villa directly. Outside the villa, Yi Tian and the incoming Yun family Heavenly Pride looked at each other, assessing each other. He must be a 7-star peerless Heavenly Pride. Yi Tian guessed based on the other's talent. At that moment, the Heavenly Pride introduced himself. I am Zhang Huang, a Heavenly Pride of the Yun family, and I wish to challenge you. Zhang Huang's finger pointed at Yun Shi. Cubed Rub and Bei. C1/4. This seemed like a typical challenge among Heavenly Prides, but Yi Tian's good evil talent sensed unimaginable malice, which was actually murderous intent. Yun Shi was about to speak, but Yi Tian stopped her. He stared at Zhang Huang, activating the Heavenly Pride mark on his forehead. I am the true Heavenly Pride. If you wish to challenge, let us face each other in combat. Chapter 417. Slaying 4 Heavenly Prides, the Yun family in fury. TL. Etude. Yu. Zhang Huang, a Heavenly Pride of the Zhang realm, stared at Yi Tian, his brow slightly furrowed. He did not recognize Yi Tian, but seeing him stand beside Yun Shi, it was clear they were allies. Perhaps this is a Heavenly Pride from the Yun family of the Milky Way who has befriended another Heavenly Pride and come together to the Hengpan Galaxy. Zhang Huang speculated. From the information he had, Yun Shi and Yi Tian had arrived in the Hengpan Galaxy together, but there was no information about Yi Tian. However, by aiding Yun Shi, Yi Tian became an enemy of the Yun family from Panyan Star. If you wish to challenge me, very well, let's take this to space. Zhang Huang said coldly. The capital of Yabur Star did not permit fighting. Even during the period of Heavenly Pride battles, the Prides could not break this rule. Moreover, the cities on Yabur Star were densely populated, and the clashes between Heavenly Prides could not affect others. Therefore, if the Heavenly Prides wished to engage in combat, they had to move to the starry sky. Let's go. Yi Tian moved, flying towards the starry sky, with Yun Shi following. Zhang Huang's face turned stern, and he too flew towards the starry sky. At the same time, many strong beings above the god level also headed to the starry sky, eager to witness the spectacle. In the starry sky, not far from Yabur Star, Yi Tian and Zhang Huang stood opposite each other. Yun Shi stood not too far away. You should not have helped her. Zhang Huang had barely spoken when he made his move. A giant water dragon emerged in the starry sky, roaring as it charged towards Yi Tian. This was not a water element talent, but a water element divine ability. A water element divine ability. Well then, let me show you the power of a top-tier water element divine ability. Yi Tian smiled slightly and used the water-sinking realm divine ability. Whoosh! A barrier enveloped this part of the starry sky, covering both Yi Tian and Zhang Huang. Water-sinking realm, suppress. With a thunderous boom, the water dragon divine ability, stretching for thousands of miles, instantly crumbled and vanished into the starry sky. At the same time, Zhang Huang, suppressed by the water-sinking realm, was covered in blood, his body continuously cracking. He might be a 7-star peerless Heavenly Pride, but Yi Tian was a top-tier 8-star peerless Heavenly Pride, the gap between them was too vast. Even if the water-sinking realm was not Yi Tian's strongest move, it was not something Zhang Huang could withstand. I am a Heavenly Pride of the Yun family from Panyan Star, you cannot kill me. Zhang Huang was in a panic, invoking the Yun family from Panyan Star, reminding Yi Tian not to kill him, or else the consequences would be beyond Yi Tian's ability to bear. However, Yi Tian was not one to be threatened. Had Zhang Huang begged for mercy, Yi Tian might have only severely injured him and not killed him. But since he dared to threaten Yi Tian, his fate was sealed. The water-sinking realm divine ability was fully activated by Yi Tian. Zhang Huang was completely immobilized, feeling an immense pressure disintegrating his body. Death was imminent. Hurry up! Zhang Huang roared with his soul. In the distance, 3 Heavenly Prides appeared, one charging at Yun Shi and the other 2 at Yi Tian. These 3 Heavenly Prides were the other 3 7-star peerless Heavenly Prides of the Yun family. This showed the strength of the Yun family from Panyan Star, who could easily dispatch 4 7-star peerless Heavenly Prides, a feat impossible for the Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy. Courting death, Yi Tian no longer held back. With a single thought, he activated the water-sinking realm to kill Zhang Huang, then instantly moved to Yun Zai's side. The Yun family's heavenly pride did not expect Yi Tian to move so swiftly and attempted to flee, but Yi Tian eliminated him with a single strike. At this point, the other two 7-star peerless heavenly prides were stunned. Yi Tian far exceeded their expectations, clearly a powerful 8-star peerless heavenly pride. How could the two of them stand against an 8-star peerless heavenly pride? Together, they were merely courting death. Escape, the thought crossed their minds. Immediately, they flew together and tore a spatial talisman. With a whoosh, a spatial rift appeared in the starry sky, swallowing the two, who then vanished. This spatial talisman allowed them to phase into space and leave, akin to the effect of the Zumi escape technique. This highlighted the preciousness of the spatial talisman. They wanted to flee, but Yi Tian was not about to let them escape easily. Thinking of escaping, Yi Tian snorted inwardly, Zumi eye. Under this secret technique, Yi Tian's gaze pierced through the void, spotting the two 7-star peerless heavenly prides flying at high speed deep within the space. Void God Sword technique. With one slash, he pierced through space. Yi Tian accurately grasped their trajectory and was fast enough. In the far distance, two figures fell from the space, clearly the ones whose spatial talisman had been destroyed by Yi Tian's slash. At this moment, the two heavenly prides of the Yun family were not yet dead, but severely injured. But before they could react, Yi Tian's blade descended once again. Poof poof. The two 7-star peerless heavenly prides of the Yun family were thoroughly slain. Thus, 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides of the Yun family fell in this part of the starry sky. For a moment, the powerhouses around were stunned. The Yun family from Panyan Star also had a significant reputation in the Hengpan galaxy, considered a pseudo 9-star force. Other heavenly prides, even if they defeated a heavenly pride of the Yun family, would give the Yun family face and not kill their heavenly prides. But now, Yi Tian had killed 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides of the Yun family in one go. A little killing god, many martial warriors commented. They were unaware of the grievances between Yun Shi and the Yun family from Panyan Star, nor did they know that these Yun family heavenly prides came to kill Yun Shi, otherwise, they wouldn't have thought this way. Yi Tian, killing them will bring great trouble. Yun Shi came over and whispered. Even without killing them, the Yun family from Panyan Star would still not let you go. I promised to protect you, which means we must be enemies with the Yun family from Panyan Star, and they would surely want to put me to death. Don't worry, unless the Yun family from Panyan Star has a 9-star peerless heavenly pride, no one can do anything to me. Yi Tian was not worried at all, rather somewhat pleased. For him, the heavenly prides of the Yun family from Panyan Star were delivering destiny to him. For instance, the 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides just now provided Yi Tian with more destiny than defeating an 8-star peerless heavenly pride. Just now, by killing the 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides of the Yun family, his destiny soared to over 500th place. Yun family, send more heavenly prides, preferably to help me raise my destiny to the top 100. Yi Tian thought. Soon after, Yi Tian and Yun Shi returned to Yaber Star. Not long after, the Yun family from Panyan Star also learned about the death of the 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides. Immediately, the Yun family from Panyan Star was enraged. The first thing, the great god-level powerhouse responsible for the attack on Yun Shi came before Elder Yun Zhen to admit guilt. The mission failed, and 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides died. Is this how you handle things? Elder Yun Zhen was extremely angry. Although the Yun family was large and wealthy, cultivating a heavenly pride also required a lot of resources, let alone 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides. Those 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides could have become top-tier great god-level powerhouses in the future, absolutely the pinnacle of the Yun family's combat force. But now, due to one mistake, 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides fell. Elder Yun Zhen, I didn't expect that little girl from the Yun family in the Milky Way to have an 8-star peerless heavenly pride by her side. If I had known, I would have sent an 8-star peerless heavenly pride to kill him. The great god level of the Yun family said in panic. So you mean to send an 8-star peerless heavenly pride? Our Yun family only has 3 8-star level peerless heavenly prides. Without understanding the opponent's strength, you want an 8-star peerless heavenly pride to take the risk. If another one falls, who will bear the responsibility? You. Humph, your value is not even comparable to an 8-star peerless heavenly pride. Elder Yun Zhen rebuked. Elder Yun Zhen, I was wrong, please instruct me. This great god level fell to his knees, prostrating and pleading. Let's not bother with those two for now. Let's wait for Yun Xingling to return. Then, we'll have our 3 8-star peerless heavenly prides join forces to attack that 8-star peerless heavenly pride. Then, we'll definitely be able to kill him. Elder Yun Zhen planned. Yun Xingling was the top heavenly pride of the Yun family from Panyan Star, possessing the strength of a top-tier 8-star peerless heavenly pride, while the other two 8-star peerless heavenly prides were of medium or lower medium strength. But with 3 8-star peerless heavenly prides joining forces, along with some of the Yun family's trump cards, they could even surround and kill a top-tier 8-star peerless heavenly pride. As long as the 3 8-star peerless heavenly prides all returned, in his view, killing Yi Tian would be effortless. Elder is wise, the great god level quickly praised. Now get out, I am annoyed just looking at you. Elder Yun Zhen said angrily. Yes, yes, yes. The great god level quickly retreated. In the empty hall, after a long time, Elder Yun Zhen's murmuring voice finally emerged again. Yun Chen, this time you actually found an 8-star peerless heavenly pride to protect your Yun family's younger generation, huh? Do you think you can succeed like this? I will make you despair once again. Please leave a comment and review on novel updates. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 418, 80% Pseudo-Mystic Level Spatial Talent. With the Yun family from Panyan Star not dispatching any more heavenly prides, Yi Tian found himself relatively free. In fact, Yi Tian was still hoping that the Yun family from Panyan Star would send someone. In the following days, Yi Tian occasionally practiced cultivation, and sometimes he also explored the talents of other people on Yaber Star, but unfortunately, he didn't gain much. He originally wanted to copy a cosmic level cultivation talent, but the highest cultivation talent he found was only of the Hong level. However, he thought that those with cosmic level cultivation talents must become galaxy level powerhouses, which were much rarer than 9-star peerless heavenly prides. Thus, it was not surprising that small Yaber Star did not have anyone with cosmic level cultivation talents. Although Yaber Star did not have anyone with cosmic level cultivation talents, it did have individuals with pseudo-mystic level spatial talents, and not just one, but two. One of them was at the Emperor level, and the other was a true god. The Emperor level individual was not a heavenly pride but a 7-star Emperor. Yi Tian easily found this 7-star Emperor and then secretly copied his 10% pseudo-mystic spatial talent. As for the true god, he rarely made appearances and was a trusted subordinate of Lord Yaber. He was often in seclusion. His seclusion area was enveloped by a law formation, making it impossible for Yi Tian's copy talent to penetrate, thus he couldn't copy the spatial talent and had to keep watch continuously. 3 months later, on this day, Yi Tian finally caught the moment when this true god came out of seclusion. When the true god emerged, Yi Tian's copy talent enveloped him. Human, Yuan Gang, cultivation talent, desolate level, strength talent, mystic, speed talent, mystic, defense talent, mystic, spear technique talent, morning star, spatial talent, pseudo-mystic 30%. Yuan Gang's other talents were quite good for ordinary warriors, but they were very poor compared to the talents of heavenly prides. However, this was also quite normal. Most warriors with good cultivation talents did not receive proper nurturing, making it difficult for them to develop god-level talents, and after becoming a god level, it became even harder to improve their talents. Unlike Yi Tian, who could copy and merge talents, the level of talents did not limit him. But not everyone could do this. Strictly speaking, Yuan Gang's talents were considered good among the true gods, and he also possessed 30% pseudo-mystic level spatial talent, which also meant his strength was not weak, making him definitely powerful among the true gods. 30% pseudo-mystic level spatial talent, copy. Yi Tian copied the spatial talent in a thought and left contentedly. After returning, Yi Tian began to merge this pseudo-mystic level spatial talent, and 10 minutes later, Yi Tian's spatial talent underwent a change. Spatial talent, pseudo-mystic 80%. Previously, Yi Tian's pseudo-mystic spatial talent was only 60%, but now it had suddenly become 80% pseudo-mystic level spatial talent. Such a significant improvement was not something ordinary opportunities could achieve. Even if Yi Tian was given another chance for a planetary birth opportunity, he wouldn't be able to use it to increase his spatial talent from 60% pseudo-mystic to 80% pseudo-mystic. This showed how extraordinary Yi Tian's copy talent was. With the spatial talent increasing from 60% pseudo-mystic to 80% pseudo-mystic level, Yi Tian's strength improved slightly, but it still did not break through the bottleneck between the 8-star peerless heavenly prides and the 9-star peerless heavenly prides. The gap between the 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides and the 9-star Peerless Heavenly Prides was quite significant, and Yi Tian's strongest attack method was not his spatial talent, so a slight improvement in spatial talent hardly led to a significant transformation in strength. In the next 2 months, Yi Tian explored his spatial talent further and developed 2 more techniques. One was a spatial corridor. He could create a spatial corridor, trapping someone inside, where they would continuously loop within the space, unable to escape. This was an excellent method for trapping enemies. The other was group teleportation, which allowed him to instantly teleport multiple people to a faraway place. This ability was very powerful for escaping and saving others, as it could instantly teleport someone from a great distance to another place. For example, if Yunxi was in danger and was blocked far away, unable to reach her in time, he could activate the group teleportation ability to instantly wrap and teleport Yunxi to another place. In this way, it was almost impossible for others to kill Yunxi. 80% pseudo-mystic level spatial talent. If I copy 1 or 2 more pseudo-mystic level spatial talents, I will be able to successfully upgrade my spatial talent to the mystic level. Yi Tian was looking forward to it. If it were not for the need to protect Yunxi, he would want to leave Yaber Star now and go to other planets in the Hengpan Galaxy to find warriors with pseudo-mystic level spatial talents and copy their talents. Unfortunately, he not only needed to protect Yunxi, but the ancestral land of the Yun family was also about to open. During this critical period, he naturally couldn't leave. On this day, Yi Tian and Yunxi left Yaber Star, preparing to head to the Panyan planetary system. As one could imagine, there would be numerous obstacles ahead, and once they entered the Panyan planetary system, a great battle was inevitable. Yunxi was very nervous. Her strength was weak, being only a 6-star Peerless Heavenly Pride. In the Milky Way, this was enough to crush most heavenly prides, but in the Hengpan Galaxy, it was quite ordinary. Not to mention comparing to those supreme-level Peerless Heavenly Prides, even compared to the top heavenly prides of the Yun family in Panyan Star, she was somewhat inferior. Therefore, she could only rely on Yi Tian. But the Yun family was very powerful. According to her investigations over the past half-year, the Yun family had 3 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides, including 1 top-tier 8-star Peerless Heavenly Pride, which indeed surprised her, and even her ancestor Yun Chen hadn't expected the Yun family of this generation to produce such heavenly prides. The Milky Way was too far from the Hengpan Galaxy, and Yun Chen couldn't enter the Hengpan Galaxy, so it was normal not to have clear information. Hopefully, the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws can successfully lead me into the ancestral inheritance land. Yunxi hoped so. Soon, they arrived at the Panyan planetary system. Yunxi, we need to leave the spaceship now. Yi Tian reminded. Okay, Yunxi nodded. After leaving the cosmic spaceship, they flew towards a certain location in the Panyan planetary system. That place was the ancestral inheritance land of the Yun family. And the moment Yi Tian and Yunxi entered the Panyan planetary system, the Yun family became aware of it. The Yun family's detection system covered the entire Panyan planetary system. They could detect even a fly entering the system, let alone a cosmic spaceship. On Panyan Star, within the Yun family, the elder Yun Zhen immediately gathered the 3 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides of the clan upon receiving the news of Yunxi and Yi Tian's arrival. By this time, these 3 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides had already returned. Soon, the 3 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides arrived. Greetings to elder Yun Zhen. They all paid their respects. Just now, the news came that Yunxi from the Milky Way's Yun family and the Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws, who killed 4 of our 7-star Peerless Heavenly Prides, have arrived in the Panyan planetary system. Their target must be the ancestral inheritance land. That is our Yun family's ancestral ground. The Milky Way's Yun family is just a branch that was expelled, not worthy of entering our ancestral land. You 3 go and kill that Heavenly Pride of 10,000 laws and Yunxi from the Yun family, and show no mercy. Elder Yun Zhen ordered. Yun Xingling immediately spoke, Elder, I alone am enough to kill them. The previous 4 7-star Peerless Heavenly Prides thought the same as you. Remember, I want absolute certainty. Do you understand? Elder Yun Zhen did not give Yun Xingling any face and coldly rebuked him on the spot. Yun Xingling was frightened and quickly responded, Yes, Elder. Take this. Elder Yun Zhen casually threw a blood-colored small sword to each of the 3 8-star Peerless Heavenly Prides. What is this? Yun Xingling carefully looked at the blood-colored small sword in his hand, shuddering and almost throwing it away in fear. Elder, this wouldn't happen to be the blood-devouring sword, would it? Yun Xingling asked tremblingly. Indeed, it is the blood-devouring sword. Elder Yun Zhen said solemnly, this is just a precaution. The blood-devouring sword is indeed a one-time weapon created by a certain demon, very cruel. But even if you use it, no one will blame you. As for the 100 years of lifespan consumed by using the blood-devouring sword and the period of weakness, I will compensate you after the task is completed. Any more questions? No, Yun Xingling shook his head, not daring to question Elder Yun Zhen's decision. Although he was an 8-star peerless heavenly pride, his cultivation talent was only of the desolate level, with no chance of reaching the planetary level in the future, and he could never surpass Elder Yun Zhen in his lifetime. Therefore, he had no right to refute Elder Yun Zhen's decision. He could only obey Elder Yun Zhen's orders. Please leave a comment and review on novel updates. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 419, Battle Against 3 8-Star Peerless Heavenly Prides. TL. Etude. Yun Xingling and the other 2 8-Star Peerless Heavenly Prides sheathed their blood-devouring swords and bid farewell to the great Elder Yun Zhen before departing. Their mission was to intercept Yi Tian and Yun Shi. Yun Xingling was not worried about this mission. He believed he could handle Yi Tian and Yun Shi on his own, without the need for the other 2 8-Star Peerless Heavenly Prides, let alone the blood-devouring sword. However, since Elder Yun Zhen instructed him to take the blood-devouring sword, he dared not leave it behind. But he was determined not to use it unless it was absolutely necessary. The use of the blood-devouring sword had more side effects than just the two mentioned by Elder Yun Zhen. Losing 100 years of lifespan was not a big deal, as it could be compensated with life-extending elixirs. The period of weakness would last at most 2 or 3 months, and with specific elixirs, it could even be reduced to 10 to 15 days. But the biggest downside of using the blood-devouring sword was the damage to one's foundation. Once the foundation was damaged, it would be extremely difficult to repair. If Yun Xingling used the blood-devouring sword, it would not significantly impact his progression to God level, but his chances of becoming a child of the universe would be dashed. He was already at the pinnacle of 8-star peerless heavenly prides and even had a chance of advancing to a 9-star peerless heavenly pride. He had a slight opportunity to become a child of the universe, even though the probability was very low. No one would want to extinguish that glimmer of hope. If he used the blood-devouring sword, he might as well not participate in the heavenly pride battle and directly aim for the God level. However, he had no intention of giving up the chance to become a child of the universe. Even without the blood-devouring sword, I can still kill you, heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, Yun Xingling thought to himself. There was a forbidden area in the Pan-Yun planetary system. This forbidden area was a star, but not only was it unsuitable for human habitation, it also posed a great danger even to emperors. This star was named Yunju Star, and it was filled with a rare toxin. This toxin posed little threat to beings above God level, but for martial warriors below God level, 99% who entered Yunju Star would perish, with only the top-tier heavenly prides capable of surviving. The ancestral land and legacy of the Yun family was located on Yunju Star, specifically within a world on the star. Yi Tian and Yun Shi had already arrived in the starry sky where Yunju Star was located. Is this the place? Yi Tian asked, looking at Yun Shi. This is it. However, we seem to have arrived a bit early. It will probably take another 2 or 3 days for the ancestral legacy site to truly open, Yun Shi replied. No problem, we can wait for 2 days, Yi Tian said indifferently. Yun Shi nodded, her brow furrowed as she scanned the surroundings with her divine sense. The expected ones will still come. Don't worry, with me here, no one can hurt you, Yi Tian reassured her. Yun Shi nodded slightly, her furrowed brow relaxing a bit. As time passed, a luxurious 6-star cosmic spaceship appeared in the distant void. Is it the Yun family from Panyan Star? Yun Shi suddenly became nervous. Yi Tian shook his head, it should be the Yun family from Panyan Star. Panyan Star is not too far from here, so there's no need for them to come by spaceship. Their heavenly prides could just fly here directly. I suspect these are heavenly prides from other branches of the Yun family. Section, registered, pound, A. Pound, micro. A. The spaceship halted, and more than a dozen heavenly prides flew out from within. Soon, these heavenly prides stood not far from Yi Tian, looking at him and Yun Shi with curiosity about their identities. We are heavenly prides from the Yun family of Flying Emperor Star. Which branch's heavenly prides are you? I don't seem to have seen you before, one of the heavenly prides inquired curiously. Yun Shi hesitated for a moment before responding, I come from the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way? Most of the heavenly prides, puzzled by the mention of the Milky Way, showed confused expressions, but a few of them looked surprised. Are you from the Yun family of the Milky Way, the one expelled by the Yun family of Panyan Star? One of the heavenly prides asked in shock. That's right, it's that Yun family, Yun Shi confirmed. You've got quite the nerve. The heavenly pride remarked in surprise. In their view, the Yun family of the Milky Way should not dare to send heavenly prides here, otherwise, the Yun family of Panyan Star would surely intercept the Milky Way's heavenly prides. These heavenly prides kept their distance from Yi Tian, flying a bit farther away to avoid any misunderstanding with the Yun family of Panyan Star. After all, among all the branches, the Yun family of Panyan Star was the most dominant, and their heavenly prides were the strongest. Suddenly, a group of heavenly prides flew over from the distance. Leading them were 3 heavenly prides, their gazes fixed intently on Yi Tian and Yun Shi. It's the heavenly prides from the Yun family of Panyan Star. This is going to be interesting. A heavenly pride from the Yun family of Flying Emperor Star murmured quietly. Boom! Led by Yun Xingling, the 3 8-star peerless heavenly prides unleashed the formidable aura unique to those of their caliber. With weapons in hand, their killing intent was palpable. Heavenly pride of 10,000 laws, you dared to kill 4 of our Yun family's 7-star heavenly prides. This time, no one will be able to save you. You're as good as dead. Yun Xingling declared furiously. His words shocked the heavenly prides from Flying Emperor Star. They had not been paying attention to the affairs of the heavenly prides from the Yun family of Panyan Star and were completely unaware of the loss of 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides. The fall of 4 7-star peerless heavenly prides was a massive loss. If it were their families, they would not be able to withstand such a loss. Are you also seeking death? Yi Tian retorted coldly. You are the one who will die. Yun Xingling countered. Boom! The 3 8-star peerless heavenly prides flew over, surrounding Yi Tian. Though it seemed unfair to be 3 against 1, Yun Xingling dared not disobey the orders of Elder Yun Zhen. The Yun family could not afford any mishaps, Yi Tian had to be eliminated. Meanwhile, Yi Tian used his copying talent to assess the talents of the 3 8-star heavenly prides. The talents of the other 2 heavenly prides did not concern Yi Tian much, but Yun Xingling's talent caught his attention. Yun Xingling actually possesses a supreme swordsmanship talent. Yi Tian was quite surprised. This was the first time he encountered a heavenly pride with a supreme swordsmanship talent. Moreover, Yun Xingling's other talents were mostly at the god level, and he had also broken through his 19th physical limit. What caught Yi Tian's attention was Yun Xingling's god-level wind talent. Given the resources of the Yun family, Yun Xingling must have mastered a top-tier wind divine ability. Rumors have it that Yun Xingling is among the top 8-star peerless heavenly prides. He must have cultivated this top-tier wind divine ability to at least the minor or even major accomplishment stage. Yi Tian surmised. As expected, Yun Xingling made his move, immediately using his signature top-tier wind divine ability. The Windless Blade, PFF'd. A sliver of wind law transformed into a windless blade, slicing towards Yi Tian at an astonishing speed, catching even him by surprise. Yi Tian's spatial barrier was shattered, along with various other defenses. The delays caused by his defenses bought Yi Tian enough time to teleport. A short distance away, Yi Tian reappeared. He examined his arm, where a cut from the windless blade had broken his skin. As expected of a top 8-star peerless heavenly pride, to have cultivated a top-tier wind divine ability to the major accomplishment stage. Yi Tian was quite surprised. However, he felt that Yun Xingling could not have achieved this solely through his own efforts, he must have been assisted by a wind elemental origin artifact. Dimensional Cube Artifact, Spatial Imprisonment, Spatial Collapse, Phantom Gold Thread Divine Ability, Great Flame Extinguishing Hand, Void God Sword Technique, Zoomy Palm. Yi Tian no longer held back, unleashing his full strength and demonstrating the combat capabilities of a top 8-star peerless heavenly pride. For a time, Yi Tian and the 3 8-star peerless heavenly prides from the Yun family were locked in intense combat, causing the surrounding space to fracture. Suddenly, at the cost of taking a direct hit from Yun Xingling, Yi Tian grievously wounded one of the Yun family's 8-star peerless heavenly prides, forcing him to withdraw from the battle. Soon after, Yi Tian found another opportunity and severely injured another 8-star peerless heavenly pride from the Yun family. Now, Yi Tian only had to face Yun Xingling. Damn it, his recovery speed is too fast. He took 2 of my full-powered strikes head-on, clearly getting injured, but now it seems like nothing happened. Yun Xingling felt helpless. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon. Chapter 420. The Ineffectiveness of the Blood-Devouring Sword, 2 8-star Heavenly Prides Fall. TL. Etude. Yun Xingling was unaware that Yi Tian possessed multiple talents for healing injuries. Unless he was completely at a disadvantage, attacks from heavenly prides of the same level couldn't inflict significant harm on him. Yi Tian was a top-tier 8-star peerless heavenly pride, and so was Yun Xingling. However, in terms of true strength, Yi Tian was slightly more powerful. Therefore, it was impossible for Yun Xingling to seriously injure Yi Tian unless Yi Tian stood still and didn't activate any of his talents. Unfortunately, such a scenario was impossible. At this moment, Yi Tian had no injuries, but Yun Xingling had been wounded by him. Following this rhythm, Yun Xingling was bound to be defeated in the end. The two 8-star peerless heavenly prides who had already retreated from the battlefield exchanged glances. They began to communicate through their divine senses. Yun Xingling is probably not a match for that heavenly pride of 10,000 laws. We must eliminate one first. Yun Shi, who belongs to the Yun family of the Milky Way, is our primary target for assassination. Indeed, while the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws is occupied by Yun Xingling, we should kill the one named Yun Shi from the Milky Way's Yun family. After discussing their plan, they took action. Despite their serious injuries, they had just consumed a healing treasure, which had significantly alleviated their wounds. With their 8-star peerless heavenly pride strength, dealing with a heavenly pride like Yun Shi was more than enough, even to the point of instant kill. In an instant, the two 8-star peerless heavenly prides from the Panyan Star's Yun family rushed towards Yun Shi. This is bad. Yun Zai's expression drastically changed. She was merely a 6-star peerless heavenly pride, while the two heavenly prides from the Panyan Star's Yun family were 8-star peerless heavenly prides. Even with injuries, it would only take them a move to kill her. On the other side, Yi Tian, even amidst intense battle, always kept an eye on Yun Shi. When the other two 8-star peerless heavenly prides charged at Yun Shi, he naturally noticed. In an instant, he deployed a group teleportation spatial ability. In a flash, both Yi Tian and Yun Shi disappeared and reappeared far away. What's going on? The two 8-star peerless heavenly prides from the Panyan Star's Yun family were baffled. They had clearly reached Yun Shi and were about to kill her with a move, but Yun Shi vanished in an instant, faster than their reaction speed. It's the group teleportation of spatial talent. I didn't expect his spatial talent to be so advanced. Yun Xingling, with his extensive knowledge, recognized Yi Tian's ability at a glance. What? It's the group teleportation of spatial talent. Not only were the other two 8-star peerless heavenly prides from the Yun family shocked, but even the heavenly prides from the Flying Emperor Star's Yun family watching from afar were utterly astonished. To them, group teleportation was undoubtedly a legendary spatial talent ability. This ability appeared right before their eyes. With the heavenly pride of 10,000 laws possessing group teleportation ability, it's impossible for the heavenly prides from the Panyan Star's Yun family to kill the heavenly pride from the Milky Way's Yun family. A heavenly pride from the Flying Emperor Star's Yun family commented. Yun Shi, enter my Zumi realm. Yi Tian suggested. All right, Yun Shi agreed without hesitation. Her strength was too weak, potentially distracting Yi Tian. If she entered Yi Tian's Zumi realm, then Yi Tian could fight with all his might. Go in. Yi Tian opened his palm and sucked Yun Shi into the Zumi realm at the center of his hand. Without the burden of Yun Shi, Yi Tian's fighting spirit surged. In a flash, Yi Tian teleported, intending to kill those two heavenly prides, but at that moment, Yun Xingling stopped Yi Tian. However, at that moment, Yi Tian deployed another ability of the spatial talent. Spatial corridor. With a booming sound, the void trembled, and the three 8-star peerless heavenly prides from the Panyan Star's Yun family vanished from this star field. At this time, Yun Xingling entered one of Yi Tian's spatial corridors, while the other two 8-star peerless heavenly prides entered another. In essence, Yi Tian separated the three of them. But Yun Xingling, with his top-tier 8-star peerless heavenly pride strength, forcefully broke through the spatial corridor and returned back. However, Yi Tian then entered another spatial corridor he had set up. He planned to eliminate the two 8-star peerless heavenly prides first, then return to deal with Yun Xingling. Inside the spatial corridor, the two 8-star peerless heavenly prides from the Panyan Star's Yun family looked around at the numerous spatial corridor passages. No matter how they flew, they couldn't leave this place. Clearly, this was a looping corridor. Therefore, the two of them began to attack the spatial corridor with all their might. As 8-star peerless heavenly prides, the spatial corridor indeed couldn't confine them, but breaking through it would take some time. However, at that moment, Yi Tian entered the scene. Not good. Quickly deploy the blood-devouring sword. The faces of the two 8-star peerless heavenly prides changed drastically. At this point, if they didn't deploy the blood-devouring sword, they feared they would lose their lives. If their lives were at stake, they wouldn't worry about any foundational damage. Even if their foundations were damaged, they were willing to bear the consequences as long as they could survive. Two blood-devouring swords appeared in their hands, frantically devouring their vitality and blood. A terrifying aura emanated from the two blood-devouring swords, causing the entire spatial corridor to crack. This is bad. Yi Tian felt the terrifying energy and extraordinariness of the two blood-devouring swords. Suddenly, the two blood-devouring swords transformed into two beams of blood light, charging towards Yi Tian. Zumi Escape Technique. Yi Tian deployed the Zumi Escape Technique recorded in the Mira Sutra, attempting to instantly evade and avoid the two beams of blood light. But just as he phased into space, the two beams of blood light seemed to penetrate all his defenses and struck his body. At that moment, the terrifying energy contained within the two beams of blood light erupted, seemingly about to devour Yi Tian's vitality. Normally, if a heavenly pride were struck by these two beams of blood light, much of their vitality might be devoured, greatly reducing their lifespan and weakening their strength even if they didn't die. However, Yi Tian astonishingly discovered that the energy contained within the blood light was similar to the energy of the undead, also associated with death, capable of eroding others' flesh and consuming their vitality and lifespan. The two blood-devouring swords were undoubtedly extremely terrifying energy weapons. But Yi Tian was not afraid of such energy. He had mastered the art of immortality, capable of eroding and devouring a large amount of undead energy. Moreover, he possessed a top-tier undead talent. Therefore, the blood light transformed by the two blood-devouring swords couldn't harm Yi Tian at all. In just a moment, Yi Tian suppressed the energy eruption and quickly refined the blood light energy. "You are all right." The two 8-star peerless heavenly prides showed incredulous expressions. In the Hengpan galaxy, the blood-devouring sword was considered a forbidden weapon. They had never heard of any peerless heavenly pride who could ignore the blood-devouring sword. Some dominant forces had also created weapons and equipment to resist the blood-devouring sword, but such weapons and equipment were extremely rare. They didn't believe Yi Tian possessed such equipment, and even if he did, it wasn't about ignoring the blood-devouring sword but merely resisting it. Yet Yi Tian was clearly struck by the blood light transformed by the blood-devouring sword. But Yi Tian was unharmed, and they were in trouble. Originally, they were already seriously injured, and forcibly activating the blood-devouring sword had almost devoured all their blood. Furthermore, 100 years of their lifespan were absorbed, exacerbating their injuries. At this point, their combat power was barely a tenth of their full strength. Void God Sword Technique. Yi Tian fully deployed the Void God Sword Technique, striking twice in succession. "Stop!" A shout came from the distant starry sky. But unfortunately, it was too late. The light from Yi Tian's Void God Sword Technique pierced through the bodies of the two 8-star peerless heavenly prides. The bodies of the two 8-star peerless heavenly prides disintegrated instantly, all their cells obliterated, turning into ash, and they fell completely. Boom! Yi Tian emerged from the spatial corridor. Yun Xingling was about to make a move, but a figure blocked him. Seeing the person before him, Yun Xingling respectfully said, "Elder Yun Zhen." Elder Yun Zhen ignored Yun Xingling and stared intently at Yi Tian. He wanted to take down Yi Tian but didn't dare to. "Why did you still kill our Yun family's two 8-star peerless heavenly prides even after I told you to stop?" Elder Yun Zhen questioned. "They wanted to kill me, so I killed them. Isn't that only natural? Although you are a galaxy-level powerhouse, you can't intervene in battles between heavenly prides. Could it be that only the heavenly prides of your Yun family can't die, while others can? Do you intend to dominate the battles between heavenly prides?" Yi Tian immediately put the Yun family in a difficult position. When it came to battles between heavenly prides, Elder Yun Zhen showed a fearful expression and quickly said, "What nonsense are you spouting? When did I intervene in battles between heavenly prides? The battle and killing among heavenly prides, your command for me to stop, isn't that intervention? What if your words distracted me, leading to a mistake in the battle, then the outcome would be different. If everyone acted like you, what would be the point of battles between heavenly prides?" Yi Tian said coldly. Elder Yun Zhen was extremely angry but had no rebuttal. So he simply remained silent. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. You can read extra chapters at Novel YTIM Premium, link to Patreon.